Hey again, happy Sunday. I was gonna do this off stream, but I figured why not? Might as well start the stream up. And I'm gonna use Skypark again. I've been liking this more and more the more I use it. I used it a little bit yesterday after the stream, and or was that Friday that I streamed? I forget if I streamed yesterday or Friday. But something I noticed is these kind of gold colored, mustardy colored rings here they represent the fee that you'll pay to travel within that ring to accept a new flight. So something I noticed is here, if I go under the settings app right here, again, there's these two game modes. The discovery one is super flexible. There's no fees or anything. You just go wherever you want at any time. And this endeavor mode tracks where you last flew to. So if I go here under the contracts again, you can see these rings, the origin of all these rings, the center point is where I last flew, which is right here, this orange one, CL13. And you'll notice that there aren't any flights going from there. There are no blue lines. So there's nothing else available from that location. So I need to fly, my pilot from here needs to get to some other spot. And these rings represent the travel fees that I will pay to get to that location. So you can see it's just really helpful to figure out how much it'll cost you to start from another like origin airport, a new departure airport. So it's really nice. Coming from using On-Air Company a lot, this kind of like ease of use UI is not really part of On-Air Company. It's much more advanced. So I think this is really nice. Oh, I forgot to set the thumbnail for this stream. Hold on, let me do that really quickly. It's still on the old thumbnail. There we go. Fixed. All right, so yeah, this helps you pick where you want to go and just understanding what kind of fee you'll pay. So now what I can do is decide like, oh, do I want to pay a $250 fee to go from here in Northern California? Or if I go closer to my origin, this one, for example, I'm not going to do this because it's 700 miles, but you can see, oh, the fee is only 50 bucks or so to travel to that airport to fly from there. And then my pay will be 2,600 bucks. Sorry, if it's switching all the time, I set up an automatic switcher. So when I switch away from the SkyPad, it'll automatically switch it so I don't accidentally leave it up on the screen like I was doing the other day. Okay, so now what I can do is just choose where I want to fly from. So yeah, if I want to pay a large fee and go somewhere else in the world, I can do that. Like if I go way over here to Europe or something, or North Africa, and I look at the details here, we can look at the fees and see that I'll have to pay 2,500 bucks to get there. And then the flight itself, so it'll show me my profit. Or sorry, it's $2,100 to get there, but the pay to do that flight is 25. So I'll still profit 300 bucks, even though I'm traveling across the world to get to this as the flight that I want to do. But these rings are super helpful, and it also is just a reminder of where you last left off. So I think it's pretty cool. And I think I want to fly the Grand Caravan a little bit to start. And I'm going to check my microphone again real quick. Sorry, you're going to hear me talking. I'm going to hear myself for a second. And I think I want to fly. All right, it's working. It's double checking that. Okay, so let's go. I don't want anything too long either because it'll be boring to watch like a 3-hour flight. I'll run out of things to talk about. So here I can change the max distance. So I can say pick 150 miles or so and hit search. And then I really like this topography variation filter, so I can find things with a cooler like mountain range area. I mean, I'm not gonna go too far away from our origin, so I won't use it for now, but. All right, so we got a few candidates here. And these are all within this first $10 fee ring. So it's at 123 miles, 83 miles. So this one's only like a $50 fee, pays 460 bucks. So I'll still have a good amount of profit, $424 profit. So one's kind of neat, just to get a little further away. And 83 miles is nice. Transport protective goggles. And it says that a turboprop is feasible. So it probably says that based on the runway length. So yeah, it's a 2,100 foot runway. And then the second runway, 5,000 feet. So, oh, sorry, that's the elevation. 4,000 feet and 5,000 feet. So that's totally doable. And I do not know what bitumulus means. Bituminous? I don't know what kind of material that is. It normally says concrete or grass or something like that. Hey Elner, what's up? How's it going? All right, so let's just do this one to start. Am I a pilot? I'm not a pilot. I am a relatively new flight simmer. I probably have fewer hours than most people in chat, but I'm really enjoying it. My partner has her PPL, and I started flight simming just out of interest because she's doing it for real, and I'm a nerd, and I thought I had recently built a gaming PC at the end of the summer last year, and thought I would get the flight sim ready so she could use it, and I'm also interested in. I'm just kind of a gaming nerd, so I hopped on and started learning, and it's really cool. She took me on a flight in December after she got her PPL, and it was partially nerve-wracking, like as a passenger, not because of her, of course, but just from my own like inexperience being in small planes. But I had a good time. We used, she had a Sentry, and I popped open ForeFlight, followed the traffic and stuff, and it was pretty awesome. And everybody in chat is super supportive, and they're all like, dude, you need to do a discovery flight. I'm not quite there yet, but we'll see how things go. Okay, so this one, all right, it says to move rafts, buoys, and beacons from Avenal in the United States to Oceano. I think I've flown to Oceano before. I believe this one, Lima 52, this airfield, I think, is part of the Pilot Edge CAT program, which is like an ATC training program, kind of. I'm pretty sure I've flown into Oceano before, because I remember doing the traffic callouts for the CTAF frequency for Oceano. All right, so I'm gonna hit save and hit begin. All right, so we need to load into CA69er, nice, to begin. And then we're going to Lima 52. So I can go here and choose any plane I want. So from Avenal to, what is it, L52? Say L62? I already forgot it. L52. There it is, Oceano. 59 nautical miles. And there is a suggested IFR flight plan that goes over the water here at a waypoint called Frams. And I believe L52 is untowered. I'm guessing Avenal is probably untowered as well. So if I do that, it gives us a 27-minute flight. Otherwise, direct gives us a 22. We'll just go direct. Since they're both untowered, there's no procedures to fly on these. And then I'm just gonna choose live time and weather for now. Live time. And we're gonna load it on the runway just for the sake of time. All right, so we just load in at CA69er at Avenal. We need to pick up the rafts, and then we take off, fly 59 miles to Oceano. Oceano. Then park and drop them off, and we're done. I haven't done a multi-leg flight yet. There's a lot of multi-leg flights, especially for ones that are like tours, where they're like 1,000-mile trips you do over days. So there's some really cool options there. All right, so I can pay the $54 fee. The fee is because we're traveling, our pilot's traveling from where we were to CA69 here to do the flight, so we have to pay that fee, but our overall profit when we finish will still be $346. So I can hit pay. And it's still loading in the background, but it's already detected the sim, so we can load everything in advance. So I'll hit load, it'll play the sound effects. Loading our cargo. And then it looks like our destination airport here, 2,300 foot runway, and it's at sea level roughly. Runway is 11 and 29. Oh yeah, this runway is pretty short. And I'm using the Cessna Grand Caravan. This is one of the stock Microsoft Flight Sim liveries. So you can, this one's not available on every plane, but I think this one's on the TBM and the Cessna 208. Cool, and let me just set up my autopilot first. I have a controller for all this, so. Oh, actually it's not working, hold on. Oh, is my plugin not working? I think my real SimGear plugin isn't working. All right, we're gonna do this by hand. So sync the heading. Why can't I click that? Huh, okay, I can't click the heading button. Oh, I know why, it's because of the external autopilot. Right, so this has an external autopilot, so the integrated one here on the G1000 doesn't actually work. So I'm gonna sync our heading bug right there and put it in heading mode. And we're doing a VFR flight. So I'm gonna pick my altitude here. I'm gonna zoom the range out. We're going westbound, so we fly in an even altitudes, even number of thousands of feet. And then here back in the Skypark, it gives you the highest obstacle. So we're gonna wanna be about 1,000 feet above the highest obstacle, so that'll give us 32, but we're heading westbound, not eastbound, so we should be in the even numbers of thousands of feet, so that'll be 4,000. So we have to be higher than that. And then we tack on a 500 because we're flying VFR. So 4,500 feet is the altitude we'll fly. So I'm gonna set our autopilot target altitude here to 4,500. 4,500. Now I hit B on my keyboard, just a shortcut to set the altimeter. I could use the ATC frequencies and look for the nearest weather and look up a nearby METAR or something. But I'm just gonna sync it with B. Now I'm gonna turn on flight level change mode up here and dial in our climb speed, which, and this is 95 knots, I think. I can check it, double check it here. VY, 95 knots. All right, so I'm just holding that until we get 95 on that display over there, 95 knots, 80, 95, 95 right there. So now the autopilot's all set up, so I can turn it on whenever I want to. All right, and everything's set up to fly. I'm gonna turn the wing light off down here. For some reason in the Caravan, the wing light is on by default. The nerd in me is like, oh, it's wasting my frames per second, turning on a light that I don't need. All right, and we're full power now. And parking brake off. Look at this runway. So it'll have 1 notch of flaps in already, and we need 70 knots for our rotate speed. It's got 1 notch of flaps in by default when you load it on the runway, because that's the Caravan takeoff configuration. 60 knots, 70 knots. All right, we're good. All right, we'll fly runway heading until we're up 1,000 feet. So we need to get about 1,800 feet. And flaps are going up. And I'm pitch trimming right now, pitch trimming our elevator trim up so I can get to 95 knot airspeed. I think I turned off the automatic air traffic control callouts on this one, so we have less kind of audio spam going on.
Approach Cessna November.
Oh no, I didn't. It's on. There we go.
Is type Cessna Caravan, 2 miles west
so
of
it's
Charlie
automatically
Alpha
connecting to the nearest center controller and requesting flight following. All right, so we're 1,000 feet up, making my left-hand turn.
Squawk 2272 Cessna, Kilo India Papa.
It's gonna turn on course.
India Papa radar, contact 2 miles west of Charlie Alpha 69er, 2,100 feet. Altimeter 29.76.
2976, which is what we have on the altimeter already. All right, we're still pitching for 95 knots. We're at 2,600 feet, so we're going up to 4,500 feet. If you haven't flown the Grand Caravan before, I'm just like slowly getting into the turboprops because I mostly fly the Cessna 172. But this thing is extremely, you know, as far as casual simming goes, it's way less intimidating than I thought it would be. Whenever I look at controls like this, oh, what's going on with the throttle? Oh, that's weird. I just shook the throttle controller and I don't know why it was. What? What is it doing? What the heck? All right, hold on. I'm going to turn on autopilot and turn it into nav mode to see what's going on with the throttle. So I'm not touching anything right now and this is happening. I have no idea why this is happening. I'm using the Bravo throttle quadrant and I'm not... Is it moving with my mouse? This is so weird. Okay, watch. I'm going to move my mouse up. I'm not clicking anything. It's moving with my mouse. What? What the heck? All right, let me check my mouse setting. This is super weird. I've never seen this before. Okay, let's check what's assigned in my mouse. Cockpit camera. So you can see when I'm moving my mouse up and down, it highlights what's getting triggered. So you can see it axis X and Y as I'm circling around. It's changing the cockpit look, which is fine because that only happens when I'm in cockpit focus mode. And that's all that's set up there. That's really weird. So somehow my mouse cursor is moving the throttle. All right. That is so crazy. I'm going to unbind. Oh, that means I'm not going to be able to look around. Let me try this. I'm going to go back to the default profile first. Where's default? There's default and apply it. It's still the same settings. No, it's still the same thing. That is so weird. Oh man, some of the bugs sometimes in this are not the nicest. All right, so what I'm gonna do for now is just, I'm just gonna unassign these, I guess, so I can't look around. But this is so weird. So I'm gonna unassign all of these for free looking and see if that fixes it. So now if I move my mouse, it's still moving the throttle. What? All right, we're still in autopilot, so that's fine. It's really messing with our climb here. Sorry guys, I've never seen this happen before. It's what happens when you live stream. Everybody sees all the problems that I have that I don't put in the videos. They're usually few and far between, but this one is very strange. Oh, the external camera ones as well. Let me clear those. Somehow the camera mouse movements that are for the camera views are changing the throttle, I think. Okay, so now I can't right click to look around now because I just unbound them. And look, the mouse is still moving the throttle up and down. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna restore to default and then I'm gonna go back to how I had the mouse. That's so weird. All right, let's go back to, I'm gonna go back to my old mouse settings. It's really weird. I noticed some issues when I click on one of these. So I have the Bravo quadrant and I have the Airbus side stick. That's what I'm using today. Something I noticed since the last patch is I have to click on these 2 or 3 times to get it to show the right settings. I have a feeling that it like somehow it's mapped the Bravo throttle quadrant stuff to the mouse. I don't know. Something's really weird right now. Sorry about this, guys. Can I get a chat check? 5x5. Yep, got you 5x5, loud and clear. Thanks for the chat check. Bro, your video's watching about 10 people. Continue, you're not a pilot, but you're our dear instructor. I am not a real life pilot. No, I'm not. All right, I'm unfortunately gonna restart this flight and see if it fixes the problem. Sorry guys. This is really strange. I've never seen the mouse get locked to the throttle like this before. So hopefully this fixes it and I can use the throttle quadrant as usual. My girlfriend was telling me, like, after doing a few videos, she's like, you should look into being a ground instructor. You know, you don't have to be a pilot to be a certified ground instructor. All right, let's see what happens now. Sorry, we got a little troubleshooting happening here. All right, so the mouse, let's just go back to default so I can look around again. Look at it, it's doing it still. Should I move my mouse cursor? It's moving the throttle. What? Why are you doing this? All right, I'm gonna restart the sim completely. Yikes. not a great bug. Man. All right, so it says the contract is paused just because I closed the simulator. So once I restart and then load back into that airfield, it'll be fine. Something I mentioned a little while ago was the tours and stuff they have in this app. What's cool is if you go here under like settings, software updates, so they have pretty regular updates here, but they do these like funny tours. Like this is a rum tasting tour. So it's a series of airports in rum producing areas of the world. So like down in the Caribbean. So you can do hashtag rum tour. So in here you can search, if I just go in here and type it, rum tour. Oh, I have to delete the this advanced filter. So rum tour. So here's the rum tour mission. Rum tasting tour, 14 stops, 2,400 nautical miles. So this is like their version of, you know, like a kind of like a bush trip almost, but you know, not within Microsoft Flight Sim itself. It's, you know, part of this app. You know, you use it in Microsoft Flight Sim, but it's part of this app. So it's almost like you're getting a third-party tour, third-party bush trip almost. But this one is super long, 2,400 miles. So you're gonna be not flying this in like a little tail dragger or something like that. But it looks like it goes from Florida all the way down here through the Caribbean, St. John's, and ends way over here. I'm not sure which island this is. Part of Curacao? I don't know how to say that, sorry. But it's pretty crazy. And you can do this like in your own time. There's no time limit to it or anything like that. So, and then if you go into details, it shows all of the airports here under to-dos. And it has a photo of every airfield. Shows you where you're gonna land. So these are all the different legs. Oh, this is awesome. Princess Juliana, pretty famous. That's pretty cool. That is a long flight. I mean, you would do this over a week or something, but it's pretty cool. All right, we're back in. I can go back to my flight, go back to the world map. Let's see if this bug fixed itself. Hopefully it did. CA69 to, it's an L62, L52, whoops, L52. Okay, loaded on the runway again with the Grand Caravan. See how it goes. gonna turn this music down a little bit. I've heard the Microsoft Flight Sim music so much that I have it disabled, so I just put some chill music on in the background. Hopefully it doesn't annoy anybody. All right, let's see if the mouse works this time. That's so weird. I've never had the mouse, moving the mouse, change the throttle. Hopefully the good old restart fixed it. All right, back on the runway. Let's see how it's going. All right, it's not happening anymore. Yay. I'm moving my mouse. Here's my throttle on the quadrant. It's working. All right, there we go. Fixed. The good old restart. All right, let me set up the autopilot again really quickly. Oh, game's freezing. Okay, it's back. All right, sync the heading bug, heading mode. I don't think yaw damper works in this plane, but it does in the TBM, but not in this one. Flight level change mode to 95 knots, and then we're flying up to 4,500 feet. Rolling my mouse wheel to change the target altitude. There we go, up 46, 4,500. And then flight level change, 95 knots. 70, 80, 95 knots. Okay, and again, in the timer references, we have our rotation speed. My right click is not working. Okay, I think the mouse reverted back or something. Mouse default. Right click. Okay. All right, right click. The right click does not work anymore. Oh my God, what's going on today? This is crazy. I can't right click to change the view anymore. Let me see if I put any add-ons recently. I don't think I have any add-ons. Now, the only thing I have is the software for the Bravo quadrant and the real sim gear. I'm gonna turn that off. Maybe the real sim gear stuff was messing with it. I don't know what's going on today, guys. This is bad luck. So 70 for our rotation speed and 95 for our VY, our best climb speed. Press B on the keyboard to set our altimeter automatically. Parking brake off, full throttle. Let's try this again. All right, so we're waiting for 70 knots for takeoff. There's 60. There's 70. We're up. Okay, so we're pitching for 95. I'm gonna wait for 95 until I put our flaps up. 95, okay, flaps going up. And then still pitching up for 95. And I'm using the pitch trim wheel that's on the Bravo, the throttle quadrant. It's actually a wheel that you turn, just like a traditional pitch trim wheel. So just turning that to pitch us up instead of pulling back on the stick.
Approach Cessna November 21 Kilo India
All right, make our
Papa
left-hand
type
turn.
Cessna Caravan 2 miles west of Charlie Alpha 69er. Request flight following. Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa approach. Squawk 1376.
And I have the auto ATC stuff turned on. So up here, if you want to use that, it's under AI control. So you turn on manage radio comms right here. So give the ATC responsibilities over to the co-pilot. So they'll automatically reply to ATC. And in this case, with the VFR flight, they automatically contact the nearest controller, center controller, and they request flight following. So I just like having that on just to, I like the idea of just having some ATC communication while I'm flying, because it'll auto change the frequencies. It's not so quiet All right, I'm gonna turn the autopilot on now. So I had it I'm gonna switch to nav mode as well. So I had it pre-configured, so now that I turned it on, it's gonna follow that flight level change at 95 knots up to 4,500 feet. And it's going to level off at 4,500 feet. And then GPS mode is nav mode over here. So it's gonna follow our direct to flight plan right here. And we got 55 miles left. Let me make sure the throttle is full still. Sorry, there's some car alarms. Wow, something's going on outside right now. All right, so it's pitching us up for 95, and it's gonna level us off in just a minute here. All right, so we're up at 4,500 feet. I'll just keep an eye on our throttle. And I'm still at max power, so I'm gonna pull it back to make sure that our torque and our turbine temperature are in the green. This to be under 2,400. There we go. All right, so now we're cruising. I'm just gonna leave it pretty much at max speed. I'm not going for fuel economy or anything. I'll just get us there faster. And one of the really cool things about the Grand Caravan is you can see right here the RA radio, the radio altitude. So it has a bottom facing like radar.
128.7 for Cessna, Kilo.
Okay, so switching us over to the next controller. It's got a radio-based altitude equipment that like fires down at the ground below us. So when that shows, there, it's showing our altitude above the ground. So when you're coming in for a landing or something or flying over terrain, you can use that, and you can also set your minimums based on that. So say we're doing an approach. Say we're doing an ILS approach or something like that, and the minimum is 200 feet above the ground, or AGL. What you can do is set the minimums here, and in this plane, it gives you two options. So when I turn it on here, I can turn it to baro, which is based off our barometric pressure, so that'll be based off our altimeter setting. So we can put in a designated altitude. So say the runway's at 400 feet. 400 feet elevation, 400 MSL. We can use baro and put in 400 feet. But we could also use radio altitude here and just put in the above ground level instead of the altitude. So here we would just put in 200 feet if that's the minimum. So I could roll in 200 feet, and then when we get to 200 feet, it'll be flashing. So it has the radio altitude minimum. See radio altitude show up right there? So that only shows up when we're low to the ground. So it's detecting the terrain below us. I think it's under 2,500 feet. It looks like it's ticking on. So the ground right below us is that many feet away from us. So we're 2,200 feet above the ground. So when we're coming in on, say, an ILS approach, we can just set this to 200 feet because we have this capability. And if we didn't, we could use the barometric minimum, and that would be just based off our altitude. So anyway, that's something that's cool that's in the Grand Caravan. So like the Cessna 172, for example, that just has, or the Cessna 172, for example, it also has a G1000, but it does not have the radio altitude equipment on it. So your only option there is to use your actual altimeter, which is of course calibrated with our altimeter setting, the barometric pressure right here. So those are two options. And it doesn't call out minimums yet. I'm not sure if that's in the working title mod for the G1000. I'm pretty sure it is for the G3000. But when you get to the minimums, it should call out minimums. So you know that you're at your minimums and you need a visual of the runway. All right, so we're cruising along here. Oh no! I didn't resume the contract. Oh crap. I did the thing. I talked about this in the last stream where like the challenge with these is just I forget so often to resume the contract, so it's not actually tracking our flight. I'm not going to restart it. I'll just continue and do the landing, but we're not going to get credit for it because I did not hit resume before we took off. RIP. So I'll have to cancel this contract. So I'm going to click and hold to cancel it. And I'm going to take a reputation hit because of that. Whoops. All right, we'll just wait until we get to the next airport. Oh no, that's not going to work either, right? Oh, well, it's going to be fine. It'll just think that we are, it'll think that we're down here towards our destination instead of here. So we'll just have to pay another fee. Whoops. I've back when I was using On-Air Company a lot. Maybe I should turn the ATC off. This is, there's this constant ATC in the background, sorry. Back when I was using On-Air Company, I still use it every now and then, but I'm using the Skypark more and more. It's because I like the interface a lot and it's simple. I had done a flight where I think I was flying like an hour or an hour and a half on this like 2 or 3 hour leg of a flight, and I forgot to start the tracking for the job, so I wasted a good hour and a half of my time. Feels bad. I'm looking forward to the changes they make with ATC. So not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after. So 2 Thursdays from now is the next sim update. It'll be sim update number 4, I think. And part of sim update 4 is going to be improvements to the ATC phraseology. So there's a lot of like really verbose ATC instructions that come through. So like, for example, even this communication right here, generic 6BL, that's fine. Contact, okay, I would say LA, but whatever, Los Angeles Center, 11905, that's fine. But then here, like going to 119.05, generic 6BL, like they would just reply 119.05, 6 Bravo Lima. Like that's all they would say. Like going to would not be said, generic would not be said, or they would say something like over to 19.05, 6BL. Like it's just very verbose. And these aren't even the big examples, like some of the longer ones. Even these like is out of flight level 370 for 10,000. Like there's just a lot of words they wouldn't say, like is out of. They would just say Oakland Center, Skywest 3412, flight level 370 for 10,000 feet, or climbing 10,000, or at 10,000, or descending 10,000 feet. There's just a lot of things they need to cut out. Yeah, we'll see what they do. I'm excited for it. I really hope they like maybe give some options to increase the speed at which they speak. Maybe add in some more voices. That's probably asking a lot, but I remember when the game came out, or when the sim first launched, there was just one voice, I think. And then they later added 2 more. So there's like 3 random voices that gets picked up, which is really cool. Like I love that there's 3 different voices. And the voices in this are so much better than say X-Plane, for example. I've used X-Plane quite a bit, and the voice is so robotic in X-Plane. It's like, you know, it'd be like Cessna, Kilo, India, Papa, turn left, heading 34. It's like, oh God. So it's definitely much better in Microsoft Flight Sim. ATC needs an update, yeah. Yeah, and if you're flying in like a very dense, like a high traffic area, like there are a lot of planes on the traffic map right now. So sometimes it's just non-stop ATC to the point where it's like twice as long as it needs to be. And I wish it remembered the drone settings too. There's so many like little quality of life updates that I want. Like I'm always changing these drone settings. The drone speed and the drone rotation are just like really fast. So I'm like always turning them down, but I have to do it every time. I really like the these relatively new liveries though. I don't use any of the custom ones yet. The liveries I'm using are all part of the marketplace. They're all the free ones. So these are the Flight Sim X ones. This is one of the Flight Sim X ones. It's pretty sweet. The red tail. I like the yellow ones too. The Kenmore skin or the Kenmore livery that's on most of the planes is really nice. It's really cool. And I like that all these get applied to all the other air traffic in the game now, you know, whenever you have different skins. Whichever liveries you have, they get applied to all the other traffic, like on the runways and parked on the ramps and stuff like that at the airports. It's pretty great. Just makes it feel so much more real. I mean, it's pretty real already, but for a time I was using a bunch of those, that liveries mega pack that's out there. There are so many liveries in that one. There's like hundreds and hundreds of liveries. I think at one point I loaded all of them and I was like, that's a lot of disk space and just a lot of files. So I like went and nitpicked and picked a bunch of random ones. It is weird to see like a 747 sitting at a gate that's just like all yellow or all white, just one color with no livery, no logo or anything. It's kind of funny. So I think those are pretty cool to add on. And that is pretty awesome looking right there. Yeah, what else? I'm trying to think what else is in the next sim update. There's going to be several parts of several updates to the Garmin, the G1000, the G3000, and autopilot. They have that listed as sim update 4, 5, and 6. So hopefully we'll see a bunch of improvements there. And 2 Thursdays from now when that comes out, I'll definitely be streaming it that night to just go through all the updates and take a look at what's been improved. That'll be a week and a half from today, basically. The Skypark supports simulation rate increase. I think it does. I'd have to double check. I haven't tested it myself. I can test it on the next flight. This flight, actually, I can do sim rate increase right now. What did I set sim rate to? Oh, I thought it was control plus. I'll test it on the next flight. Because I didn't track this one, I messed up. I'm not tracking this flight right now. I'll have to start it with the next one, but I'll give it a shot. I think you can. I'm trying to see in here, under the settings, they kind of list the things you have or not here. So here in the mode that has kind of the rules, contracts expire, reliability requirements, financial progression apps, finance penalties and fines, illicit content, of course, stolen and illegal merchandise. So I don't see any difference in these two in this list, but I'll have to test it, figure out if that's the case for real. I actually think I must have unbound the sim rate increase. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I had it as control plus and control minus. I wish you could, there's this sim rate button R, but I don't know if that does anything. The last time I used that, it actually didn't change anything. Let me press R right now. Yeah, R doesn't do anything. I just hit R, nothing happens. Okay, so sim rate increase and decrease works. So here's a +2, but again, it doesn't show you. Yeah, and R does not reset it. I was always confused by these controls. So obviously we're sim rate increased right now. Whoa, need to slow down a little bit. So in the Caravan, I think in the POH, it says in turbulent weather, in turbulent air conditions, you want to be below 145 knots. So we're pretty We're pretty fast.
Generic tree model,
752
Zulu
traffic
contact
Cessna
Los
November
Angeles,
21
Center on
Kilo
11
India 11 miles.
ATC's just stepping on each other.
4,500 feet,
Cool.
Inbound to land runway 29er.
It's hard to tell what rate I'm at too. So like, the only way I've been able to look at it is like look at this estimated time on route clock right here, and just count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, see if it's accurate or not. That's the only way I know to, you know, because sometimes it can be a little confusing if the air is really smooth. You might not realize that you're at a faster sim rate or not. All right, so we need to descend here. We need to go down to about 1,500 feet because this is at sea level. I'm gonna pull back on our throttle and just put us in a descent. Oops, control 2 for this. Our altitude's down. We're gonna vertical speed down at 1,000 feet per minute. So what's our ground speed is 160. So if we take 160 and multiply by 5, that gives us roughly our descent rate for a 5-degree descent, or sorry, 3-degree descent. So we should be about 800 or 900, but I'll do 1,000. So we're getting close, and the airport's right over here somewhere. I think that looks like it might be it right there. And then ATC, we called out which runway we're landing on. The AI called it out for us for runway 29. Okay, so here I'm gonna switch to heading mode. For some reason, when I go to an instrument view, normally I can right click and move my mouse angle or move my camera angle, and it's not working anymore. So I have no idea what's going on today. Maybe this is a bug I just haven't noticed until now. I can middle mouse click to lock it. That works. Right click doesn't work though. Anyway, I'm gonna go over to heading mode, sync the heading mode bug, and then use OBS for runway 29 just to line us up. Two 5, 26, 290. Yeah, so I think that's there's the airport right there. Not sure why it's turning us. What? All right, I'm just disconnecting the autopilot. For some reason, I was switching my my Bravo quadrant has a knob for interacting with the autopilot stuff. Yeah, that's not working today either. So I installed the software for it, and the lights aren't working on it now. All right, so I'm just going to idle, and then we're gonna have to do, let me do like a 360 to get down over here because I'm just way too high. There's a very nice, simple app. You can use, it calls out the sim rates. Oh, nice. Is that on that flightsim.2 website, you know? I know that's like a really popular, that site is just really well done for all the add-ons for Microsoft Flight Sim. I'll have to check that out because, yeah, that would be really nice. And we'll see, I'll test it on the next flight. We'll see if the sim rate works. I bet it will with Skypark because it's just more forgiving than the other apps. It's kind of less hardcore. Okay, so we're down to 1,500 feet. So turboprops are generally 1,500 feet above the ground for the pattern altitude, compared to 1,000 for a smaller plane. FS Sim Rate Bandit. Okay, cool. Thanks. Yeah, I'll check it out. That'd be nice. So because I'm used to doing on-air company, I've never done the sim rate increase on these kind of missions. But that would be really nice if you could use sim rate with Skypark. I wouldn't be surprised. We will know shortly. All right, so I have on the OBS knob there, you can see I have the heading dialed in for the runway. We're a little bit too low now. I'm just pitching up to slow down. So we land 75 to 85 knots as our landing speed for the Cessna. All right, there's the airport right there. Barely see it. All right, I'm just using the pitch trim wheel to pitch us up a bit. I think we can extend, we're under, it's at 150 knots for first notch of flaps, I think. So I can, we're almost in full flap range, just about. But I'm gonna do my first notch of flaps now and then turn base. Need lots of pitch trim. All right, we're at 107 knots now. All right, it says 2.6 miles. Yeah, that plugin sounds really nice. All right, I need to keep this turn coming. And we're pretty high. All right, there's the runway right there.
Lima 5-2 traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on final runway 29er to land.
All right, last notch of flaps. I'm pretty high, which is a common problem for me. That's been more of a challenge for me in the turbo props, is like knowing the pattern altitude and getting the turns right. Because you have to go, you're going quite a bit faster. All right, 85 knots. I'm just pitching up more. All right, 77 knots, trimming down a little bit. This is gonna be kind of a steep one.
500.
All right, I'm gonna give it my stick slip here, which is a little janky looking because I'm just using a stick. Oh, this is way too fast. It's hard to do a slip with just a stick. This is not gonna be butter. It's probably a go around in real life. This is like a middle, yeah, this is a go. I'm gonna do a go around actually. Not good. Flaps coming up. I need a lot more length. I'm gonna be good and not set it down. Yikes. Not butter at all. I didn't want to force it. That would be bad. I need a lot more distance. A lot more,
November 21 Kilo India Papa going around.
Oh, nice, it said going around too. I need a lot more distance in the turbo prop than I'm used to. Yeah, that was way too fast. All right, so we're gonna get up. We're at 600, so I'm gonna turn. I did it on purpose. Yeah, that's it. Of course. You guys get it. I can't possibly make a mistake in the sim. No way. The Grand Caravan isn't even the hardest to land either. Like the TBM is so much faster. Then if you fly one of the business jets, you fly the Citations, Those things are crazy. The longitude and the CJ4, those things are just nuts. Like, that's way too fast for me. I play around with them sometimes, but they're terrifyingly fast. Let alone an airliner. I'm not quite ready for those. All right, so we're parallel now. It's really easy to gain altitude in these two. Like, I'm already up at 2,000 feet. I should be around 1,500. Yeah, this is a really nice airport to land at, though. All right, there's the runway. You can see it right there in the bottom left corner a little bit. That beacon, the airport light going off. I actually don't know the name of the airport light. I don't know if you guys know that. The ones that flash white and green, or I think white and green, and then there's another color combination for a military airport, like white and red or something like that. All right, airport's off our shoulder now. There's that light right there. Let's try this again. Again. Yeah, the reason I have so many ILS videos, you know, it's the only way I can reliably land, you know. This visual approach stuff, this is scary. This requires actual skill. I only fly ILS approaches. Just makes it easier. If the ILS doesn't work, I turn off the sim. You're underrated. How do you only have 2,000 subs? I just started doing YouTube in October. I've only made about 10 videos, so I just do it pretty casually, but I have a fun time. I like streaming a lot. Streaming is fun. It's like the support you guys have shown in the comments was just super overwhelming. I was just like not expecting that at all. So I totally appreciate it. Like it's motivating, and yeah, I really appreciate all the nice comments everybody has left. It's been really cool. Very unexpected. Upload more. I know it's hard. I don't want to make I think the issue is I don't want to make the same video over and over again. I feel like that's what I like about the live stream is I can throw this on for a couple hours, and I think it's okay to be a little repetitive what I'm doing, because it's just like a live casual thing, you know. Yeah, ambitious. I'll show you in just a second. I actually just messed up and didn't track this flight through it, so I'm just gonna do this landing, and then we're gonna pick another mission with the Skypark app. But it's a career mode add-on app, so it's similar to ones like NeoFly or On Air Company or Air Hauler or FS Economy, all those kind of apps. It's another career mode add-on app. It's $25 US, one-time fee through Orbex, ORBX. So I have a link in the description, and I also link to the other ones in the descriptions. NeoFly is free. I think the big difference with Skypark is how simple the interface is to use. It's definitely got the best interface. It looks like a fake tablet that you use, like a touchscreen tablet. It's just really, it's really easy to use, so I've been enjoying it. But I've used most of them, and I kind of like all of them for different reasons. Skypark's just really easy to pick up. But yeah, I'll show you the interface in just a second after we attempt to give it a buttery, the best one. I kind of go back and forth. I think it depends on my mood. I'm used to On Air Company. I've used it the most. I think On Air Company is the most hardcore one. It's a monthly subscription, so it's the most expensive. But at the same time, it has the most features. Like you can start and join a virtual airline with other real humans and like run cargo and share aircraft and rent them out and run your own FBO and do aircraft maintenance. There's a ton of stuff in it, which is what I think is cool about it. Skypark, I think, is a lot more casual, but they're adding a lot of features recently that are, it's just making it more and more feature rich. Like I'll show you in a second some of the things they've added. Oops, that's a little off center. A little short runway too. Yeah, I'll show you the interface in just a second. But I go back and forth. I've tried NeoFly a bunch of times. So I think, so the pluses for each one that I've used are NeoFly is free and it has some of the more unique mission types. So it has like cool, the game's freezing right now. What's going on? Oh, we're back. It has some of the coolest mission types. So it has like drop zone and emergency medical missions where you need to land in an open field somewhere within like a 2-mile radius. That makes it really unique. And then it's free. Everybody can just pick it up and use it. So that's why I think NeoFly is awesome. On Air Company is a subscription cost, has a free trial, but it has the most advanced stuff in it. But I think both NeoFly and On Air Company, the interfaces are really complicated. And then this is Skypark. So it has this Skypad app they call it. This is where you interact with the whole thing through this kind of iPad or Android looking tablet. This one's it's $25 right now. It's on sale, 25 US dollars. This one has, they're updating it a lot. All three of them get updated a lot, of those three. So pretty much every time I launch it or every other time I launch these, there's an update available, which is great. So I think they'll all have new content. The Skypark, this interface is the easiest to use of all of them. So this shows where my pilot was last left off. And then these rings show what the travel fee is to get from one spot to another if I want to start somewhere else. So like, and this is the game mode that's like called the Endeavor game mode. So it's a little more hardcore than the casual game mode. So right here under settings, and when you first launch the app, it'll have you pick between these two modes they have right now. So discovery mode is just do whatever you want. There's, very little in terms of like rules. You can just pick whatever flight you want and just do it. This Endeavor mode has like expiration and XP and karma that you earn and money that you earn. It has fees based on where your pilot was last. So it's like a little more of a hardcore mode, but still more casual than something like the Thunder server for On Air Company. And then here, so contracts. This is where you pick the contracts you want. So what this like mustardy or gold colored dot shows is where my pilot last flew to. So this is where I'm located, is this airport CA69. And what these rings show are the amount of travel cost it'll cost to move my pilot to another location before I fly a leg from there. So for example, say I wanted to fly on the East Coast today, I would have to pay a travel fee of $200 to $500, $250 to $500 to get around here. So say this was the leg I wanted to fly. I wanted to do this one. So this is a cargo trip. You can see it pays $1,700. If I go to details, under fees, it'll show me it's going to cost me, because I'm not in that area, it'll cost me $477 to get there. And then I can fly it. So my overall profit will be that much. And when you do this, you just hit go and it's like, okay, you're going to pay the fee and you're going to start the flight. Then you just go into, flight sim. You pick any plane that you want at any time. On Air Company and NeoFly both tie you to a specific airplane and you have to buy and sell and rent airplanes. They don't do that in Skypark yet, but they say they're working on it. So right now, how it is today, you can pick any plane that you want to fly for any of these missions that you're picking up. And then at the top here, it'll actually show you which plane types are good for it. So right here, you can see it says piston, feasible. They recommend a turboprop. You could also do a business or a narrow body jet. So they show theirs. Can you do a long haul? Yeah, there are really long distance ones here. There are multi-leg trips. If you go up here under filters, you can filter for the type of plane. So if you're flying like a big airliner, like a wide body airliner, you can do that. And then I can hit search and you can see these really long trips. So here's a 1,700 mile one. And as you zoom out, you get this search button to refresh the list. So here's some transatlantic flights. And then also you can go in, I'll just choose all types for now. Actually, I don't do helicopters, but whatever. You can also choose under advanced filters, you can go down here and pick how many legs you want. So if you want a multi-leg trip, you can say I want at least 2 or 3 legs in this trip. And now it'll find these trips that are multiple legs. So some of them, for example, like this one is a cross-country like experience trip. So they don't only have cargo things, they have a bunch of different ones called like tours and experiences. I was looking at this rum one earlier. They just added this a couple weeks ago, rum tasting tour. So there's no timeline for this. It says time infinite, but it's 2,500 miles of legs and it takes you all around like the rum producing countries and islands in the Caribbean. So you start in Florida, you fly through Jamaica, over in Puerto Rico and stuff. Dominican Republic here to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, all the way down here off the coast of Venezuela. So it's pretty cool. Like, and then when you go into the details, it'll show you here under the to-dos list. It actually shows a screenshot of every airport. And it also, something I really like is that this like limited info it gives you for each airport is really nice. It shows you the elevation, it shows you the runways and their lengths and the type of runway, so asphalt. It shows if it's lit or if it has an ILS or not. So you'll see this one says unlit. And so this is actually really nice. I just like this info. I don't have to go anywhere else to look up this info, you know, it's just built in. It also shows you this highest obstacle. So it shows you how high you need to fly. So if you're doing your own flight planning or just flying VFR or just a direct to route, you can just do your own flight planning and you just know, you can just look here at the highest obstacle. You don't have to run and look up airport, VFR charts or anything like that to figure out how high you need to be. So it's just, yeah, it's pretty nice. And they have these descriptions that are pretty unique for each one. The one I did a couple days ago was at the Sky Harbor Airport, or sorry, is it Sky Harbor up here in Washington? Not sure, maybe it's gone. Let me clear the filters. Oh yeah, Friday Harbor, here we go. Sorry, Friday Harbor, not Sky Harbor. So right here, they were highlighting this new experience, like having you fly to the specific airport. And in the info, they show you, this was the default airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator X, a little background about the airport. It's kind of cool, like, I don't know. And they have like more like topical things, like real world things. So something that's funny the other day was I did one of the missions in the last stream and it was delivering, it was an illicit cargo trip, so illegal cargo. And it was delivering WeForce graphics cards, counterfeit WeForce graphics cards, like instead of NVIDIA GeForce, because in real life, as you guys probably know, there's like a big shortage of the new gen of video cards. So they have funny stuff like that in there. And then, they have like fly COVID vaccines around the world. So you'll see there's like COVID vaccine delivery things, fly the Caribbean. Like this is more like a visual tour mission, It's cool. I like the variety a lot. Here's a bush flight. So I'm pretty impressed by that. And the UI really helps it. Yeah, I like the interface a lot too, KB. Sorry, I'm just reading through the comments. I should do reviews of other sims like X-Plane. I'm thinking about it. I'm barely getting videos out for Microsoft Flight Sim, but I mostly focus on Microsoft right now. I think X-Plane is really good for IFR flight plans and instrument stuff. And people say the flight models in X-Plane are better too. It's more realistic. But I'm just focusing on Microsoft for now. Do a series with a Cessna 152. I definitely want to do that. I see a lot of posts. I read the forums and the Microsoft Flight Sim forums and the subreddit all the time, pretty much every day. And I see a lot of people that are basically like, what do I do? Like, I remember I've only been using this sim for a year, roughly. You know, I started with X-Plane. And I remember as soon as I learned a couple of the basics, I was like, well, what the heck do I do now? Like these kind of career mode add-ons, like especially Skypark, it's very beginner friendly, I think. This will help a lot of beginners, I think, figure out what they want to do. Once they've taken the tutorials, maybe flew around New York City or their hometown. And after that, it's like, well, it's cool, but if you're not immediately gripped like into the flight sim world, you know, you can get a little bored if you don't have these kind of things to motivate you to go to different parts of the world and earn money and stuff like that. I don't know. I find these really useful. So anyway, let's take another one here. Oh, sorry, Amir, I didn't catch that. If you really want to run your airline, on air is good. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, on air is like has every feature you can think of. What's the purpose of the money? There is none right now. So the fees, they just introduced that. Here under the settings, they do say that they're going to do aircraft management. So right here, aircraft fleet management soon. I don't know what soon means. Maybe it's sometime this year. This penalties and fines thing, that those fees for moving, those just came out like last month, I think. So it's relatively new and they update pretty often. So here under updates, you can see last Wednesday was their most recent update. They added that rum tasting tour I just showed. Before that, last Tuesday, this is the expenses. So they just did this a week ago, well, a week and a half ago or whatever. Not even a week ago, sorry. This is the version number right there, not the date. So Oceanic Air, this is the fee company. So that's stuff we just looked at about fees, relocation fees. And then here's they also added this dice roll thing to just randomly pick a mission. So that's also new as of last week. Friday Harbor, they did in April. So less than a month ago, they added that experience. April 12th, these are the mission I just talked about with the video cards, transporting the video cards, which is funny. So yeah, they update it pretty often. Again, another one in April. Okavango, I guess. I don't know how to say that, but Delta runs is another type of experience tour kind of thing. So you can see they update it pretty often. I don't know. For $25, it's on sale right now. For me, this is like, that's the cost of getting a plane in the game, or less than the cost of getting a plane. So I think it's pretty cool. It's much more approachable than On Air Company or NeoFly or FS Economy. I think it's a lot easier to use. All right, let's do another flight here, and I'll actually track it this time. So I messed up. So we're gonna have to travel because you can see I'm at this blue dot. Oh no, wait, we're not at Santa Maria. We're at Oceano, right? We're at L52, but it doesn't know where we are. So I can pretty much just pick any flight I want. It thinks we're at CA69 still, so it'll make me pay a fee from there. So I can just choose like what range of fee I'm willing to pay. And this is the Endeavor game mode. Do you need anything else in addition to Skypark? No, this is all you need. So you download it. It's actually 2 apps. There's kind of an app that runs in the background. Dragon8, hey dude, what's going on? There's actually an app that runs in the background called the Transponder that runs in your Windows like system tray. And it's just the app that handles the updates to the Skypark app, to the Skypad. So there's a transponder that's kind of like the nerdy background app that does the updates and the syncing with the server. And then there's the Skypark Skypad, and this is where you interact with. So it pretty much is all self-contained. It's going good, dude. Good to see you. You found my YouTubes. This is all I do now is YouTubes. The YouTubes with flight sim stuff. But yeah, this is it. And if you've ever used Orbex before, I have the link in the description right now on the on the live stream description. It's on the Orbex site, and they have software that manages downloading and installing this stuff for you. So you need to launch the Orbex app, and that'll install the Skypark app. I'm not sure if you can download it separately or not, but I did it through the Orbex app. So again, you can go in and filter. So I'm doing a turbo, so I can filter for turboprop to make sure that I get an appropriate mission for what I want to fly. And then you can filter by these things, bush trips, cargo, whatever. And you can do these things to require runway lighting. So if you're flying at nighttime, you might want to check lighting, you know, if you're not trying to land in the pitch black at a grass strip or something like that. And then require ILS. So if you're flying something and you want to use an ILS for the approach, you can require that as well. And then there's a ton of other advanced filters for mileage, things like that. So say I don't want to fly more than 100, 150 miles or so, I can put that in right here. Runway type, legs, and then you can filter by, this is the one I was looking at the other day, topography. So if you want more interesting like mountainous areas, you can order by that. So this is the first one I recommend. So you can see it's going over like a big mountainous range, and it looks like we're descending in between some mountains here. So that could be an interesting one. And then it'll sort by topography variation. So it kind of puts us from the mountains into the, like, you know, in the more mountainous areas. And then I can just tick through these and find one that's interesting. And these are all relatively close, so you can see that outline right there. So the fees that I'll pay will be less than $50 to kind of transport the pilot. Like the one time you thought the ranch house lights was the lighting for a dirt runway and exploded. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's why you need the filter. So L52 to, what is KCOA? Coalinga Airport. So I'll just do this one, 65 miles. So I can click in and see highest obstacle, 3,200 feet. So now all I have to do is go over and just program in these two. You can do the flight planning however you want. Usually when I'm doing these, I just use the world map, have it pick one for me if there's an IFR flight plan. You know, of course, you can hop into like SkyVector or SimBrief or ForeFlight or whatever you use and do the real flight planning if you want to run through the whole thing. I usually just, for the sake of time, do something like this, and I'll see if there's an IFR flight plan too. So in this case, there's one that goes over 2 VORs, so I'll try that out this time. And then if I click approaches, I can see there are no approaches available. So it's either not in the database or this airport doesn't have any approaches. And then I just hit fly. And you can also, it's not time locked, so you can go ahead and change the time of day to whatever you want. So I just have it running in all mode with live. I just don't have it locked to live just in case. And then I'm just gonna load in directly on the runway. So then here we can see, you know, it's good for turboprops, but recommended for a piston, but we're gonna do the turboprop. And then the fee here will be $22 because I have to teleport my pilot to the departure airport. And we'll make $393. So yeah, like, so you guys are Aviator, you were asking about the money. So right now it's just for the fees, but I assume once they do the fleet management stuff, they'll introduce using your money to purchase aircraft or rent aircraft or things like that. We'll see what happens. I have no idea what to expect. Probably something like that. All right, so I'm gonna hit begin. So I'm gonna pay the $22 and start.
Taking off runway 11 north departure.
And then right here, we load the cargo because we're already loaded into the sim, so it knows we're there. So we're loading the cargo. And it has like sound effects. Sometimes it'll talk to you and stuff. Like some of the missions has like a tour guide. I don't know if it has a tour guide, but like the intro missions has somebody that talks to you and is like, hey, welcome. It's a little cheesy, but it, you know, it's fine. Okay, now we need to get over here to Coalinga. And then we can see the info about Coalinga. It's at about 700 feet in elevation. And we have 2 runways. So we have the runway headings right here for us, 3113, 01, and 19. So we can plan that on the way there. All right, so now we're loaded in. All we have to do is fly. And I have the flight plan, you know, it's pre-programmed because I did that in the world map. So we have our 3 waypoints here. And then the notorious OBS mode bug, you have to turn OBS mode off. I left it on at the end of the last flight and it just stays on. So that's why the magenta line wasn't there. a second ago. All right, so there's our flight plan. And then because it's IFR, because we loaded on the runway, I'm gonna review the ATC instructions. So right here, they said to climb and maintain 6,000 feet. So I'm gonna set our selected altitude to 6,000 on the autopilot. And then I just hit B on my keyboard to set the altimeter automatically. We won't go through the paces of using ATIS to figure out the altimeter setting. And then departure, so it'll remember the departure frequency, and it's already set the transponder automatically for us, so we're good. So climb and maintain 6,000. So for now, we fly runway heading until they tell us to continue. So I'm gonna put it in heading mode. Flight director on, so we get the magenta flight director stuff. Show us where to pitch for, and then flight level change, as usual. Caravan 95 knot. Best rate of climb. So change that to 95 knots again, and then we'll take off. 95 knots. All right, so we're good. Oh, and I always turn on this, or turn off this wing light right here. Oh, you're doing the rum tour? Nice. That's ambitious for me. Like, it sounds really cool. It's probably like really scenic, but it's like, isn't it like 2,000 miles? Yeah, I think it's one of the best add-ons in terms of simplicity and just, it's so easy to use it. I'm becoming a kind of a fanboy of it. We'll see how it goes. But they've done a really good job. This is such a short runway. 50. Oh my God, this is gonna cut it close. 60. We're almost at 70. 70 knots. Oh my God. Holy crap. Third contract, nice. You're on your third leg. It seems pretty awesome. Okay, I'm pitching down a little bit. We need to get to 95 knots. 2477 nautical miles. That's crazy. All right, flaps are going up. Just trying to hold runway heading until we hear that we can continue. And I'm using the pitch trim wheel. Pitch trimming up for around 95 knots. We can just point it at the magenta flight director line right there.
Los Angeles Center Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is at 600
All right,
feet,
autopilot's
climbing
on.
6,000 feet.
It's in heading mode right now.
Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa Los Angeles Center. Continue to Mike, Quebec, Oscar as planned.
All right, continue as planned. So I'm going to switch over to nav. 29092. So I'm going to update that and just press B. That was a lucky takeoff. That was sketchy. We would have crashed if we didn't have enough runway. That was like barely enough runway. All right, so autopilot's on. So we're in nav mode now. It's taking us to our first waypoint, which is this Mike, Quebec, Oscar VOR right over here. So we're right near the San Luis Obispo airport. That's on our right. Not sure if we can see it or not yet, but San Luis Obispo is going to be off our right wing. Where is it? It's so hard to see airports. It's crazy. Like, until you get really close, I'm just like, I have like no idea where they are. Oh, you're on your 7th leg? Nice. You've only taken 3 contracts. Oh, gotcha. All right, so we're at max power. I just want to make sure the throttle is working. Yeah, it's not messing with my mouse anymore. When I first started the stream, there was this weird bug where every time I moved my mouse in the sim, it would adjust the throttle. It wasn't bound to it or anything. It was just doing that. It was really weird. All right, so we're climbing for 6,000 feet. You can see it's pitching us for 95 knots because of that flight level change mode. That was a sketchy takeoff. I guess that's why in here, so if we look back here at the mission, okay, I'm just double checking here. So we picked up the cargo, so it is on the right step to fly, so we're tracking it. If you go back to the info, that's why here it says recommended for the piston and feasible for the turboprop, and that's probably because of the runway length. It probably is recommending the piston, a smaller piston aircraft instead of the turboprop because of that, so yeah. And then Something else I haven't shown yet in the app is they do have this like mapping thing that shows your flight, which is really cool looking. But by default, it just shows a direct to route. So you know that I picked an IFR route. So we have 2 waypoints. So we're kind of going this way and then this way and then in, you know, we're moving off to the left here a little bit. And right now, the only way to get that flight plan in is by loading an external file, the PLN file. So from the world map in Microsoft Flight Sim, you can export your flight plan to this file type and then import it into Skypark, and it'll load in the flight plan and show it for you. Another option is like if you use simbrief.com, that's a site where you can do flight planning, and it'll export a flight plan file, this PLN file. So you could load that into Microsoft Flight Sim in the world map, and then you could also load it in here if you want them synced up. I don't really use this, but it is pretty cool. And you can go into this 3D mode up here, which is pretty neat, and then turn on like an auto zoom thing. And it gives you like this different like ground, you know, this kind of tilted perspective, which is pretty neat. And it'll draw the runway lines and stuff like that. Has like little airport diagrams. It's pretty detailed actually. I just don't use it just because I'm just, you know, looking in the game at the map on the G1000 in the game, but it is in there if you want to use something like this. So if you have it like, you know, I think what's nice is it's kind of pretending to be something like ForeFlight or something, you know. It doesn't show you all the detail that something like ForeFlight does, but if you want a moving map, you want to move this, you know, tablet onto a second monitor or something, or you can hit this pin button in the top and that'll keep it on top of your flight sim, and you can resize it under the settings menu and make it smaller and put it in the corner. You know, it's pretty flexible, so I get why they have it. I don't use it myself. All right, so we're gonna go back to this conduit thing. So this is where we're going, 65 miles to Coalinga, and it's at about 700 feet, and we have 2 longer runways. How long was the runway on the departure here? Yeah, 2,300 feet. That's like our absolute minimum. So we have 4,600 and 3,200 feet on our runways for our arrival airport. So that'll be a lot better. All right, I'm gonna pull our throttle back just a little bit. We're almost over speeding. Just for the sake of time. Oh yeah, I said I would try out the time, the sim rate to see if we can fast forward to see if it'll yell at us or not. So first I'm gonna pull back our throttle just a bit slower. For bumpy rides, we're supposed to be around 145 in the Cessna Grand Caravan. It's fine though, just for casual sim use. Like I'm not too worried about being at 160 or so, but I know when you turn on the flight sim rate increase, it can really mess with the dynamics, like the flight dynamics. So it can throw us around quite a bit. All right, so now I'm gonna do the time increase and let's see if it yells at us. So we're at 2x now. And now here's 4x. And then in here, I mean, it's not saying anything just yet. It's showing our super fast flight happening. So, I mean, I don't think there's an issue. I think all that it tracks is that you got to the destination. So it seems like you can use the sim rate. I think that was some... Did we just fly over the airport? That's some, I think that's like a localizer or ILS marker signal we're getting. I think we can use marker mute right here to turn that sound off. Looks like it's working. Yeah, it seems okay. And I would guess that if they added that, they would put that as one of the things like unable, you know, in the list for this game mode, because there's the 2 game modes. I'm guessing they would say something like, you know, you're unable to use sim rate. All right, so I'm gonna slow it down just to, actually I can leave it on until we get there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know I haven't tried increasing the sim rate in the other career mode add-ons just because I was using On Air Company for a while and that one's so hardcore. That one definitely doesn't allow sim rate stuff. It tracks you every step of the flight, you know. It'll track like your altitude, the status of your lights. It'll track your G-force, like your bank angle. There are fragile cargo missions and stuff like that, where if you bank too hard or you have too much of a G-force on the cargo, that it'll damage it and you'll take a decrease in pay because of that. That kind of hardcore stuff is not part of Skypad or Skypark.
Cessna Kilo India Papa, contact Oakland Center on 128.7.
Alright, I'm gonna go back to normal sim rate now.
Cessna Kilo India Papa. Oakland Center, Cessna November 21 Kilo.
Alright, looks like we're at the right sim rate.
Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa, Oakland Center, continue as planned. Altimeter 29.902.
Yeah, so time compress, I guess, is doable. You can refuel in mid-flight. Oh, yeah, right. It also, yeah, that's something that's important too when comparing these and, you know, how realistic you want it to be. When you load into Microsoft Flight Sim on a flight, it defaults to 50% fuel and 170 pounds for a pilot plus co-pilot, 170 pounds each. So yeah, it does not track your fuel. You don't maintain your fuel. It doesn't set your cargo. On Air Company and NeoFly both automatically set your cargo, I believe. Oh, sorry. On Air Company automatically sets your cargo. NeoFly, you have to manually configure the cargo yourself. But before you can start the mission, it makes sure that your payload is set to the required payload weight. So in some way, both of them, NeoFly and On Air Company, they do force a payload and fuel. So you have to buy fuel, and you have to set the fuel is set automatically by both On Air Company, NeoFly. And then there's just a slight difference. One of them is manual but required, and for NeoFly to set the payload, and then on Air Company it automatically sets it. Though I think what's different is when On Air Company sets the payload, it does not show up here, but it will actually be set. And you can actually see it sometimes when you hit start tracking. You can see like the plane shift a little bit because the weight's changed. But I did ask their support team and they said, yeah, it does set the weight for you. It just does not show up under this menu in the game, in the sim. But yeah, I can just give myself some more fuel right now. So it's a lot more lax in Skypark, for sure.
Oakland Center, FFFFFF 240 is on a flight level 310 for 10,000 feet.
That is a sweet tail number.
Oakland Center, continue as planned.
I saw somebody with that tail number yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago. Also in California airspace somewhere. I think it was also in LA airspace. FFFFF. When I first heard that, I thought it was air traffic control being weird, but it's I think somebody may have set that to their number, to their tail number, their call sign. Like a skydiver perspective, like hit a button, open the door, hop out.
Oakland Center at 141 is at flight level 360.
Just turn up the speed to maximum. Oh, it's actually following it.
Continue as planned.
The drone camera is just so fun to play with.
Oakland Center at 112 is at flight level 290 descending 10,000 feet.
At 112 Oakland Center, continue as planned.
All right, 7 minutes away. So if we check our, just check our info here on our arrival. So it's at 690, so call it 700 feet of elevation, and we have 4 runways to pick from. And if we checked our current wind, it looks like the wind is going north, so we want a southbound runway if possible. Let's turn on our wind here on the PFD. Wind option 2 is the simplest. All right, so we're heading 010. So we can find the reciprocal of that. That would be what, 230, right? And so maybe 19er is probably the best runway for us. We'll see what they say. Like ATC will, or at least the co-pilot, because I have it on manage radio comms on automatic. The co-pilot will just say which runway we're gonna land at. They usually pick the right runway for the wind. All right, and then, yeah, it's at 790 feet.
Cessna Kilo India Papa contact Oakland Center on 126.9er.
All right, and switching us over to Oakland Center.
126.9er for Cessna Kilo India Papa.
So it's interesting, I'm using the Bravo, the Honeycomb Bravo throttle quadrant, and I got the lights working yesterday. I had to like uninstall and reinstall the plugin to get it working. And it worked for one flight, but now it's not working for this one, so I have no lights on it. So I'm not sure what's up. I'm gonna have to check that out. But it's really nice when the lights are working on it. It has like the gear up and down lights. It's got a whole panel of warning lights on it, and then the autopilot buttons light up, mattering which mode is activated. It's super nice. Like if you're looking for a new throttle, I think the Honeycomb one is just amazing. And how you can configure it for different configurations. It's got like six levers you can use, or 6 of those axes. So you can fly a 4-engine jet with it. You know, you can configure it how you want it. I have it just set up for the 3, so you can I have it set up for these 3 right now. So I have the throttle, the prop, and the fuel condition levers all set up. But it's super nice. I had one on pre-order for a couple months with like Adorama, and someone on the Microsoft Flight Sim subreddit. If you follow that one, someone posted one day and said, hey, xplane.org store has them in stock. So I ended up snagging one from there. I got lucky. But yeah, I would keep an eye on it on the subreddit, and then if you want one, you can always pre-order like I did and be just on a waiting list. But it's really nice. I'm a big fan. I tend to use a side stick, like I'm using the Thrustmaster Airbus side stick and the Bravo throttle quadrant. I have rudder pedals, but I don't really use them that much, just because out of convenience, I just like using the stick. All right, that's not us, right? No, that's not us. Okay, generic 26 Alpha. Is that the airport? I think the airport's right up here, and they don't have us descending yet, so I might just have to start descending. Sometimes they just don't descend you fast enough, like early enough, so we need to go down to, yeah, we're still talking to someone else. So we need to be about 1,500 feet above this. So 2,200 feet. So I'm just gonna start going down to 2,200. All right, vertical speed mode down. Oh, I forgot I can do this with the Bravo. There we go. I'm used to clicking in the interface, but the autopilot on the Bravo lets you get into all these different modes. So you can change heading, altitude, selection. You can change vertical speed. You can change flight level change speed, all that stuff. They never descend you early enough, I know. Here they go. Oh no, they're just yelling at me. I mean, there's the, yeah, they want me to climb and maintain. Climb and maintain 6,000, yeah. I'm not gonna do that. Sorry.
Climb and maintain 6,000 feet Cessna, Kilo India Papa.
Yeah, I mean, we're only 7.6 miles away. All right, I think our approach torque in this, approach power is like 600 feet per pound. So I'm gonna set it at 600. There we go. Yeah, we're probably not going to be down fast enough either. But I think we should set up for runway, what did I say, 19? Yeah, runway 19 should be favorable, should have the favorable wind for us. So I'm going to switch to heading mode, sync the heading bug and switch to heading mode. Then put the OBS knob, put OBS mode on, put it to 19er. So 190. You can see the airport on the PFD now. See the runways. I wish I could twist this faster. I couldn't figure out the keybind for the course knob for the Bravo, so I have to figure out that shortcut. I'd be able to turn this around better, more quickly with the hardware, but all right, what do they tell us? Expedite our climb. All right, we're just gonna have to ignore them. So yeah, we're gonna be on the opposite side of this runway right here. So we should really fly. I assume, I didn't look it up because I'm being super casual, but I assume it's left traffic. So we're gonna swing out to the right side here. Yeah, I think it's something with, this must be untowered. It seems like a pretty big airport.
Kilo India Papa, please expedite your climb to 6,000 feet.
Cancel IFR.
Oakland Center Cessna Kilo India Papa would like to cancel IFR. Cessna Kilo India Papa IFR flight plan is cancelled. Radar service terminated.
Squawk VFR.
1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Approach Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is type Cessna Caravan 2 miles south of Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha. Request flight following.
Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa approach. Squawk 4505.
Squawk 4505 Cessna Kilo India Papa.
All right, there's our runway.
Cessna Kilo India Papa radar contact 2 miles southeast of Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha 2,300 feet. Altimeter 29.902.
All right, so we're at 1,400 feet. So I'm keeping my eye on that little radar altitude. It's really small for you guys, but I can see it. It says about 1,300. It's stuttering a little bit.
Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa 2 miles southeast, 2,000 feet inbound to land runway 13.
All right, I put in my first notch of flaps because I'm going to turn base soon.
Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa 2 miles east.
I'm going to give it a little more
1,900
distance
feet
than
inbound
last
to
time
land
away from the
runway
airport,
13.
so I don't have to go around again. So we're at 1.5 miles. I'm going to go to like 2.5 or so just to be super safe. It's probably way more than I need, but all right. And then the course line you can see there on the HSI down here is set up for the OBS roughly for that runway heading. All right, we're at 1,000 feet now. And we're at 2.3 miles. All right, Dragon, see you later, man. Thanks for dropping in. I got a jet. I see what you did there. All right, we're about 3 miles. I'm gonna turn. This is probably way longer. This is probably much more distance than we need, but I don't want to mess it up. And I should bind the smart camera again. I don't have that button bound right now. So it's hard for me to look straight at the airport. Just going by the instrument here. Okay, it's a little to our right. Oops, there it is. So it's definitely, it's actually 190 might be right. I'm just a little off course. You can see the broken magenta line there.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna
Oh man, the stutters. Oh my god, why?
1,300 feet
Oh
inbound to
no,
land
I
runway
have the
13.
dreaded stutters. Look at this.
Kilo Charlie Oscar
It's
Alpha
so
traffic
crazy. It
Cessna
just happens at the
November
last
21
minute.
Kilo
Why?
India Papa is on base
Come
runway
on,
13.
Microsoft, please. Dude, I'm
Kilo
supposed.
Charlie Oscar
This
Alpha
is
traffic
crazy.
Cessna November 21 Kilo
Come
India
on,
Papa
how am I
is on
supposed to
base
land with
runway
1
13.
frame per second?
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November
Dude.
21 Kilo India Papa is
God.
on base runway 13.
Oh my god.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic
I'm running a
Cessna
16 core
21 Kilo India
CPU
Papa
with
is on base
128 gigs of
runway
memory
13.
and a RTX 3080, by the way. I have like a
Kilo
very
Charlie
beefy
Oscar
setup,
Alpha traffic
and this is what's
Cessna
happening.
November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway
This is
13.
insane. This is like super
Kilo
hard
Charlie
mode.
Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on
I'm giving
base
it more
runway
throttle.
13.
Oh my god, this is insane.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic
Come
Cessna
on.
November 21 Kilo India Papa
Why?
is on base runway 13.
I don't
Kilo
understand.
Charlie Oscar Alpha
It wasn't
traffic
happening
Cessna
the
November
entire
21
flight,
Kilo India
and then of
Papa
course
is
when I'm on
base runway
final,
13.
it's just like bam. Here's your on final
Kilo Charlie
challenge.
Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13. Kilo
Oh,
Charlie
man.
Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo
I
India
have not
Papa
tried
is on
turning
base
off
runway
multiplayer
13.
yet. No. Oh god. I know that they said that they fixed something with that.
November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13. Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13. Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
Yes. 1 FPS landing.
Kilo
Successful.
Charlie Oscar Alpha
Hey, maybe I should turn
traffic
that on. That was
Cessna
better than my
November
last
21 Kilo
landing.
India Papa is on base runway
Wow, this
13.
is crazy. I haven't seen this bad in a long time.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha
This is
traffic
not even
Cessna
a
November
major.
21 Kilo
This
India
isn't even
Papa
like
is
a
on base
crazy
runway
major airport.
13.
Copilot reporting every movement. I know.
Kilo Charlie
Copilot's
Oscar
on
Alpha
it.
traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
It's she just.
Kilo Charlie Oscar
Wait, is
Alpha
she just
traffic
repeating
Cessna
herself?
November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
She just keeps saying the same thing over and over again. She just said base.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
Base runway, base run. All right, I'm just gonna stop here and
Kilo
not
Charlie
park
Oscar
properly.
Alpha traffic
We're just gonna
Cessna
park right
November
here.
21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
I think it's just it's so lagged.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha traffic Cessna
Wow.
November 21 Kilo India Papa is on base runway 13.
Base runway 13. Base runway 13. Oh my god, get
Kilo
me out of
Charlie
here.
Oscar Alpha
Okay,
traffic
we're here.
Cessna
Drop off the
November 21
supplies.
Kilo India
We
Papa
did it.
is on base runway 13.
It's stuck with the FPS. Yeah.
Kilo
Oh
Charlie
man,
Oscar
this is crazy.
Alpha traffic Cessna November 21
Oh, I'm
Kilo
gonna
India
cut
Papa
off
is
the
on base
fuel
runway
and
13.
turn off the avionics to get credit in the game for the flight.
Kilo Charlie Oscar Alpha
Oh my
traffic
god,
Cessna
stop.
November 21 Kilo
Just
India
stop,
Papa is on
Copilot.
base
Please
runway
stop.
13.
I don't think. Oh, hey, look. All of a sudden, the frames are back. I turned off the engine. Oh, it's turning off, and now the frames came back. I don't get it. That's crazy. Maybe it is the multiplayer thing. I know that they did say that the multiplayer that they fixed a bug with multiplayer causing stuttering, but you know, apparently they didn't, if that's what's causing it, unfortunately. Bleh. Well, that was a decent landing for such crappy frames, so I'll take it. All right, let's do another one. Okay, so now it shows us at KCOA at Coalinga, so that's where our pilot is located now. You should have landed with the engines off. New update. Yeah, I think the game was queuing up so many position reports. That could be. I don't know. I usually leave that on, and it's usually fine. I don't know. In any case, it's not my fault, right? I mean, I'm just using the sim. Come on, Microsoft. Come on, Asobo. All right, so you can see these rings have been updated. So now it shows here that the yellow or the orange or mustardy color, whatever, represents where we are. So you can see it says KC08. It had it in gold. There it is in gold right there. So that's where we're flying from, or, you know, we can pick anything wherever we want to accept fees from. We can go really far out as our origin. All right, so we got some money. Feels good. Here's my progress. 7,000 American dollars. We're rich. And I don't know what the, oh yeah, I think the levels, as you level up and as your karma or as your reliability goes up or down, you get paid more and more for each contract. Thanks for the video. See you the next time. All right, Amir, almost 2 a.m. Cool. Well, have a good night, man. Have a good sleep. Thanks for hanging out. All right, let's do another one here. So I'm gonna do, let's see, do I want to try a different plane? Maybe I should turn off the multiplayer. I have it on, I think I have it on all multiplayer. I have it on all players, so I could turn it off for now and see if that helps. It's a bummer. I like the Grand Caravan a lot. Especially with Skypark, it doesn't matter quite as much just because it doesn't do the payload stuff and it doesn't do the fuel requirements and all that. But if you're using like NeoFly or On Air Company, the Grand Caravan is really popular just because the payload size is so much larger. You can accept pretty high paying contracts in those just because of all the extra weight you can carry. I think you can carry like 2,500 pounds or so. You know, it matters how much fuel you take, of course. But I think it can take like 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of a payload, you know, compared to something like you're flying the 172, you can take like, you know, an extra 300 pounds or something. Again, mattering how much fuel you're using. But the Grand Caravan takes a ton. And the TBM is pretty good too. It has, I think it has roughly the same amount of seats in it. Like I think both can seat 8 or 9. But the TBM I don't think can take as much weight and as much cargo in those. But again, with Skypark it does not matter. Just because it doesn't have anything to do with weight. It's just about can the plane land at the runways that are involved in the contract or in the trip. That's really the only consideration. All right, so I could do a piston or a turboprop. Maybe I want to fly like, I like the SR-22 a lot. I think it's pretty fun to fly. In terms of hours, I probably have the most in the 172, but the TBM, the 208 Grand Caravan, and the SR-22 I think are all really fun as well. All right, so if I could do a piston one now, and then again, filter, probably want to do like less than 100 miles, maybe like 50 or 60 miles, like not that big of a trip. And then I can choose anything I want. I'm not restricted to this area, so we could like move up north more or find something cool along the coastline or something like that. Every time you move the map, this green button shows up. And you can just hit that to refresh the contracts and the flights available in that area. Something nice about the SR-22, like compared to the 172, is just that it has a de-icing system. So it gives you some more flexibility, mattering where you're flying. So if you have the icing effect turned on, then yeah, you fly somewhere where it's very cold, then the 172 is gonna like drop like a rock if you go through some precipitation and it ices up. I have definitely failed a flight because of that before. Where's this one going? This could be pretty cool. Over the mountains, like straight to the ocean here. Astoria. 46 nautical miles. Let's check this one out. It recommends a piston aircraft. Oh, $200 in fees. So because I'm going so much further away from where my pilot is, costs more in fees, but I don't really mind. And I think it was level, yeah, so you get a level rating. So right now I'm like level 5 or 6. Until you're level 5, it gives you like a 90% discount. We saw that in the last stream. So these relocation fees are 90% discounted. So when you're just starting out, you can kind of go all over the world without incurring a lot of these travel fees if you're playing in that game mode. All right, so I'm going to save, begin. Yeah, I want to do this in this Cirrus. So let's see, we're going from the Scapapoose? The papoose? I don't know how to say that if anyone knows how to say that. KSPB. Scapapoose Industrial Air Park. And then we're flying to 56 Sierra. So 56S Seaside Municipal. And I usually leave on, while it's daytime, I'll leave it on live, but I pretty much always leave it on live weather. Now let's see if there's an IFR flight plan for this. There is not, we just have direct to. So I'll just do VFR. And then back here, again, under info, we can see the highest obstacle for our flight plan. So 2,800, we'll tack on 1,000, 3,800 for clearance, for avoiding obstacles. And then we're going westbound VFR, so we'll tack on 400 and we'll make it, so we'll round it up to 4,500. So that's 2,800 plus 1,000 gives us 3,800. Because we're going westbound, we want even numbers in thousands of feet, so it'll be 4. Because it's VFR, we want a 500 on the end, so 4,500 should be just fine. And I forgot under here I can set that, right? 4,500 under the cruise altitude. I actually never do this, but I should do that. All right, 4,500 feet, loading in on the runway with the SR-22. I turned off multiplayer, so hopefully that fixes that problem. Hopefully our frame rate is good. I'm gonna leave this up so I don't forget to hit the load button. We're picking up curtains and drapes. Like it's been a bit since I've flown the Cirrus. It'll be cool. I think a third party, one of the aircraft developers is working on a Cirrus Vision jet, I'm pretty sure. I think I saw a thread where somebody like marked, I don't know if it was on the forums or on the subreddit, but somebody had like given an update of all the known planes that were being worked on. I'm hoping for a Piper, a non-complex Piper to be made. Like a single engine, like there's 2 of the arrows, right? Hopefully somebody makes like an Archer. That would be cool. Just like a simpler low wing without a constant speed propeller would be neat. And the Cirrus Vision jet, that sounds awesome. I think my favorite planes are, I think my favorite plane right now is the Diamond DA40 NG with the G1000 that I was flying the other day, and that one is really nice. The only thing it doesn't have is a de-icing system. That's part of the reason why I like the Cirrus. It's a single engine, non-constant speed prop. It has the G1000, so it has autopilot, and it has a de-icing system, and it's a bit faster than the 172. So I think that the SR-20, I mean, it's a turbo, right? I think it's the GTS. Oh yeah, I think the Cirrus is awesome. You just need the premium package for it. But the Diamond, on the other hand, is in the standard version of the game, so that's why I think it's a pretty cool choice. But yeah, here we have, how do I look at that section? Right here, we have the de-icing system, so if we get into any icing, we can turn on the ice protection and while we're getting out of it. All right, lights on. All right, and then our flight plan's direct. So I turned off the OBS mode. We're gonna switch over to GPS mode. And I said we're flying up to 4,500 feet. The one downside, I think, is where the autopilot is, because this Garmin autopilot's down here in the bottom. you have to get to this view to interact with it. So, all right, we're gonna go to heading mode, sync the heading bug, and then altitude selection, 4,500. All right, 4,500 feet. And looks like that's the correct altimeter. We'll turn the pitot heat on just so it stops complaining about it. We don't really need it because it's 19 degrees out. Not the game's freezing. The sim is frozen. It's still frozen. Oh, it's not. Okay, it's back. Oh, I'm having all sorts of problems today. Look, I can't turn on the pitot heat. Oh, I know why. Because it's on my hardware switch. I'm smart. I keep forgetting that. So I bound the pitot heat to one of my switches on my throttle. So when the switch is down, I can't click it up. That's what was going on. All right, cool. And we're in heading mode first, so we'll climb up to 4,500. I think the rotate, isn't the rotate 70 in this? Yeah, rotate at 70. VY is 101. So IAS mode down here. Roll it up to 101. This is kind of a long flight, isn't it? And I'll just max speed. All right, parking brake off. Full throttle, full mixture. And we're looking for 70 knots. Just go by what it says, like it's at the default weight and default fuel. Not doing any kind of like rotation speed calculation based on my payload or anything. Seemed like we need a little more than 70 for this one. I didn't check, you know, density, altitude, or any of that stuff. Just real casual like. All right, and pitching for 101 knots.
Kilo India Papa, continue for west departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace. Tower Sirius November, 21 Kilo India Papa, continue for west departure.
All right, so we just have a direct to, it's a direct route here. 46 miles, I think. 46 miles. See how fast this Sirius can go. And we're going up to 4,500 feet. I think the one downside in this cockpit view is just how big this, what is this called, a post or something? I think someone said it's called a post. How big this is, it just takes up so much of that viewable area. But you got the G1000, so it's not too bad. And the views out the sides are pretty nice. That's the coolest thing about the Diamond, though. I keep like gushing over is just the 180-degree glass in front of you. The whole windshield is, there's no obstructions. There's no post or anything. It just wraps all the way around like a full panoramic view, which is really cool.
Sirius Kilo India Papa, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved.
Tower Sirius
See ya.
November, 21 Kilo India Papa, frequency change.
Actually, we need to be to the right. I don't know. See the flight director right here? It's showing a bank up and to the left, but our course is to the right, actually.
Request flight following.
All right, we're at 3,000.
Sirius November, 21 Kilo India Papa, Portland approach. Squawk 6445.
All right, now we're getting on the course.
6445 Sirius Kilo India Papa.
You can see right here, I'm not on course.
Sirius Kilo India Papa, radar contact 2 miles west of 8 Oscar Romeo 6, 3,500 feet. Altimeter 29.902. Copy Sirius Kilo India Papa.
I think also like some of the frame rate stuff is just because nothing is cached. So I'm flying in these areas that I haven't necessarily flown in at all, or even recently. So it's definitely doing, you know, it's downloading all the, any of the photogrammetry stuff, the terrain data, you know, it's constantly streaming that data. So the stutters every now and then, I think they're like, you know, I think they're reasonable, but that approach that took me down to like one frame, that was, I don't think that's reasonable. All right, we're at 4,500 feet. I'm just trimming down here. Keep us at 4,500. All right, I just lean the mixture a bit, maximize our power. All right, and I'm gonna turn on the autopilot now. Let it hold our altitude for us. Whoops, it's in heading mode. Switch it over to nav mode. All right, on the way. I'm gonna keep it, keep our throttle pretty maxed out here, even though it's not the most realistic to just keep it fully like 100%. We would probably pull it back to be, you know, be more economical with our fuel consumption and all that, but just for the sake of time, just gonna leave it maxed out. All right, 4,500 feet. GPS mode's on, 38 miles. We're at 87 on our power. So I'm just leaning the mixture until I see it go down and then go up a little bit from there. So maximize the power percentage there, and then can also see it on the fuel flow right here. So here it is at full mixture. You can see the power, the percentage of power going down, and then the gallons per hour at 19. As I pull it, you can see the RPMs going up a little, the power going up a little, and then it starts dropping, and then I know to push it back up a little more. There. And now I can pull back on the throttle if I want to conserve fuel. At a more comfortable cruise speed, not overspeed. This thing's pretty fast though. What's our ground speed right now? Ground speed 170 knots. So compared to the 172 we get like, you know, 100 knots, 105, something like that. And this thing we're at 170. Pretty nice. So I was using this quite a bit when I was doing on-air company. It's kind of funny to like fly cargo. Oh my god, I didn't do it. I didn't do it again. No. I loaded in, I set up the autopilot, and I didn't load the thing. I'm so bad at it. It's also because I'm hiding it behind the flight sim window, so it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. So I didn't even load it. I didn't even load the cargo for the second time in this stream. Big time fail. Oh man. Sorry guys. I even said it too. When it was on the loading screen, I was like, I'm gonna keep this up so I don't forget to do it. And I'm like, oh hey, look at the series. It's really cool. And then, oh god. So bad. That's a problem. Thank God for time compression. Yeah, I'm not gonna, because I'm streaming it, I don't want you guys to have to watch me restart completely, but yeah, if I was doing this off stream, I would just cancel the flight, hit restart, start it again, hit load here, and then yeah, use time compression. So I can do that with a sim right now just to save us a few minutes, but yeah, so you can use sim rate to speed up these missions. So I'm at a 2x right now. I think does it go from 1x to 2x? I need to get that plugin you were talking about that shows what the sim rate is, because it's definitely confusing not knowing. But I think I'm at 2x. I assume it goes from 1x to 2x. Maybe it's 1.5 or something. All right, and then we'll look at this 5-6 Sierra. Go look at the info for this runway really quickly. So if you 2,300 foot runway at sea level, runways 16 and 34. So 1, 6, and 3, 4, that gives us pretty much like a north, almost a north-south, right? So 3 to the north, we'll want the south one heading more towards the south. So we'll probably be landing on the 16, runway 16. 2x, oh, to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16. Oh yeah, it just doubles. Got it. So I'm at 2x right now then. It's kind of it sounds funny when it's I don't know why it sounds like that. Yeah, the throttle's on max. But when you do the sim rate, you know, it's at the double. There's just like some funny stuff can happen. I'll go back to regular sim rate now. Oh, the audio is normal now. Just some funny things can happen when you're in the 2x sim rate. I dig the Cirrus. I know some people think it's silly because it has a parachute system, but I like the plane. It's pretty cool. Like I was saying about using the Cirrus in on-air company, I was using the 172 to do like, you know, 2 and 3 passengers at a time and like very low amounts of cargo, like 200-300 pounds of cargo. Just really short trips, and it was pretty fun. And then at some point I switched over to use the SR-22 to use this guy just because it carried a bit more weight, same number of passengers, but it could carry a slightly larger payload. And then obviously the speed, it's like a good 50 plus knots faster at cruise. So it saves some time, especially with on-air company. When you do the hardcore server, you can't use time compression, or you can't use the sim rate increase, so saving that time by using the faster plane was really nice. But still, you know, having a really small, like, light plane was fun. I think it was a good compromise between like flying a turboprop and flying a smaller plane. The 172, some of the trips that I was doing, I just wanted to do longer trips, and it was just taking a lot of time, so I jumped in the Cirrus instead. All right, so we're gonna land at runway 16, sea level. So at some point we'll get down to 1,000 feet. We'll see if this is right. It said that the highest obstacle was like 2,300 feet. We got this guy coming up in front of us. Like, it looks like we'll clear it. We can see the horizon past it. So pretty much means we're, you know, we can be pretty confident we're above this. I don't know by how much. I'm just trusting what we saw on the Skypad here. 2,800 feet, so we're at 4,500. And then we'll be landing at runway 16. Man, I can't believe I forgot. I've forgotten twice now, right? What is this, the third or the fourth flight? I'm like 2 for 4 or 1 for 3 that I've actually managed to start the flight properly, or start the Skypad contract. Whoops. And frames are looking pretty good right now. We'll see what happens when we get towards the airport. There's like not a cloud in sight either. Very, very clear. Every time it's clear, I'm a little skeptical that that the live weather isn't working, but I think it's been pretty good the last week or so. I haven't really run into problems with it for a few weeks. And I think that next patch that's coming out in 11 days. Yeah, 11 days from now is the next big patch. And they're supposed to have some weather improvements too. All right, so the airport is right, looks like right down here somewhere. Maybe right there. So we're flying over this mountain. And I'm gonna slow us down and bring us down to 1,000 feet.
Sierra traffic, Cirrus November 21 Kilo India Papa 11 miles east 4,500 feet inbound to land runway 16.
All right, 11 miles east. Yep, they chose runway 16. That's what we were expecting. All right, so I'm going to switch over to heading mode as usual to set up the OBS for runway 16. Swing the course knob around. All right, there's 160 right there. And I'm going to turn our heading knob just a few degrees to the right. Start taking us towards that direction. And we're still descending for 1,000 feet because it's about sea level, so that'll be our pattern altitude. Generally is 1,000 feet for a small plane like this. And then what's our ground speed? We're at 160, I think. We're at 150 now, so 150 times 5 gives us our descent rate. So 750. So I'm going down at 700 feet per minute. It's like a rule of thumb for your around a 3-degree angle of descent is 5 times your ground speed. And then I pulled our throttle back quite a bit for the descent. Right down to like 30%. I wish it would load the airport detail, and I can't tell if that's a road. I think the airport's like right over here. Sometimes it's just hard to see until you get really close. I don't know how this compares to real life. I'm guessing it's similar. I've only been in like, the last time I was in a small plane was in December, and I kind of knew where we were going, so I kind of knew where to look for the runway, but yeah, in this sim I can definitely feel a little lost till the last minute. I mean, this looks like it's so hard to tell. I need to rebind this smart camera as well. Oh, fun fact, Cirrus had to install the parachute to pass certification because it can't pull out of a spin. Oh, good to know. I think someone the other day said that the Diamond can also have a parachute system installed in it. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Good to know. Ribs are done, heading out. Nice. Enjoy those ribs. Thanks for hanging out, Bob. And thanks for, I think you told me, sorry if I'm confusing you with someone else. I think you told me about that plugin for the flight sim increase, the rate. I'll check that out after the stream. That'll be super helpful. Yeah, I hope they put, I'm sure they'll put that in the game eventually, but for now that'll be really helpful. Thanks. Where is our airport? All right, we're still at 2,300 feet. I still don't see the runway yet. Oh, is this it? I think this is it right here, in between those trees. All right, I'm gonna turn our heading bug now. Yeah, I think it's right there. I see it. I think it's right there. I was gonna go to sleep, but now I'm too curious about this Skypark stuff. Oh, I forgot to turn on the tracking for this mission, but I'll do it for the next one. I think the next one will probably be the last flight, but I'll go through the basics again. You can always rewind too, when I end the stream, or actually even right now, you can rewind while it's live, but the VOD will be available. You can just watch the replay if you want to see all the detail, all the stuff. All right, I'm gonna turn off autopilot. We're gonna turn around here. Slow down. We're 1,200 feet. All right, we're landing at runway 16. I might need to do a pass if I don't see it in time, because it was pretty hard to see. I think it's like a 2,300 foot runway. Probably gonna watch it through in full tomorrow while I'm working. Nice. Yeah, yeah, Skypark. I'm liking it a lot compared to some of the other mods, the other career add-ons. So I don't think this is a concrete runway. It didn't say concrete, but it also didn't say grass. It said something in between that. So I'm not really sure what the type of runway is, like, you know, what surface type it is. Okay, I see it right there. There's the runway, right past those trees. Oh, there's the light finally. Yeah, I couldn't see that light before.
Sierra traffic Sirius November 21 Kilo India Papa is on final runway 16 to land.
We are, yeah, there's some trees there, so I would normally feel like I'm a little high, but I think we're actually okay. Just because of the obstacles. Kind of have to come down pretty fast here. Little floaty. That's not too bad. Good thing we didn't take the turboprop. That would have been much sketchier. Sweet. All right, flaps coming up. I'm gonna turn the OBS mode off now before I forget because of that bug. I love using the OBS feature that they put into the G1000, but if you forget to turn it off, I'm pretty sure even if you close the flight sim completely, the next time you load, it'll be stuck in OBS mode, even if the plane you're flying doesn't have an OBS mode that's functional. So like you could even fly like one with the 530 or the 430 Garmin, and it'll just mess up your flight plan. It'll show the wrong route. It'll just show it based on an OBS setting, even if you can't change it. Kind of weird. All right, we made it. Feels good. Flaps are up. Landing lights off. Actually, just curious to see where the actual parking spots are around here. Let's see. Sometimes it's funny where it puts the AI planes and stuff on the ground, or like there's always a guy with a pushback vehicle or whatever, or one of those pushback what do you call those things that tow the planes? I actually don't know what those are called. Sometimes it's funny where those guys are located. Yeah, so we got a food services truck. So there's an add-on somebody made that's under like the living world category in the marketplace. So it adds like fuel service or food service trucks and police vehicles and stuff. So sometimes it's funny when you're at like a really tiny airport and there's like these big fuel or food service trucks like these. Got a Bonanza. Is that a Bonanza? No, that just looks like a... That paint scheme looks like one that's on a Bonanza. I can't tell. What is that? Is that a cap? It's a tail dragger. I don't know that one. Is that... I don't think it's a Cap 10. Is that the extra? And what's this? And then here's the Bonanza. But the paint scheme looks similar. So this airport isn't as small as I thought it was. All right, parked. Turn the engine off. There we go. All right, we got credit in the game too. Sweet. I like to like finish it within the game itself too, because I feel like sometimes you don't get credit. Like I feel like my hours in the game are way lower than I think they should be. I think they made a change a while back where they said like even if you don't get to parking and get that end screen like that, that it'll count it now. But who knows? Who knows if that's the case? All right, let's do one more. How much of a fee do I want to pay to travel somewhere else? Maybe we should do like somewhere in Arizona or something. That could be cool. Or maybe somewhere... I don't know if there's any snow in like Utah or Wyoming. It's probably not. I mean, mattering how high we get, there could be. Obviously, we're like borderline summertime now, but I'm unfamiliar. Let's see. So for you guys who haven't seen the Skypark app before, it's like $25, 25 US dollars, like on sale right now through Orbex. And I put the link in the description, but of all of them, this one is probably the simplest in terms of the UI. And they have a good variety of like contracts. They have like cargo missions, and then they have tours and like bush trips and other type of like non-cargo mission things. I just think this one is one of the easiest to use compared to like On Air Company, FS Economy, and Neofly. Neofly is free though, so I think it's good for everyone to try just because anyone can use it because it's free if you don't want to throw down 20 or 30 bucks for this. But this one's like the UI is the best. And I like how they have like things besides just cargo missions. So like, there's a decent variety of missions in this too. This one could be pretty cool over the mountains. Only 33 miles. That's good. I can do a nice short one for the last one. Transport counterfeit medical equipment. All right. We'll do the illicit mission, the illegal cargo mission. All right. And then our start fee is because we're traveling further than where we were before. So it gives us a fee. So we're going to fly into, we're just going to do our flight planning here. 3 uniform 0 is our departure right here. And then KELG, Lima Golf, the Elko Airport. It's only 14 minutes, 33 nautical miles. I always switch to the IFR just to check if there are any approaches, just to know what to expect, and there are none. So we'll just stick to VFR direct. I'm just gonna load in right on the runway as usual. And then I'm using live weather, and I turned off multiplayer because we had some stuttering problems. And then now I can go to the info tab. So this is pretty up there. So the airport elevation for departures, 5,700, 5,800 feet. And then our arrival, 5,900 feet. And then here under info, our highest obstacle, 7,500. So we'll go up to, we're flying eastbound, so odd number of feet. So we'll go up to 9,500 feet. Oh no, we're flying westbound. All right, we'll do 8,500 feet then. Yeah, we're starting at 3 uniform 0 right here, flying to the west. All right, 8,500 feet. And this time I need to make sure that I actually click the button to start the flight. Okay, here we go, load. So even before, you can see I'm still loading into the sim. but it's connected and it knows enough that I'm at that airport when I'm starting, so I could load it early. So now that I've loaded it, it just says I need to. This is just one simple leg. So we're just flying to KELG. I need to remember, set my climb altitude in the autopilot. I'm gonna set it to 8,500 feet. So we got a grass strip. Oh man, okay. All right, this is a good one to end the stream on, because we're landing in a 1,500 foot long dirt airstrip that I'll probably not be able to see at first. So cool, this is gonna be sketchy as hell. Let's do it. So 33 nautical miles, 5,900 feet is the elevation. All right, so we're gonna go up to 8,500 feet. All right, so we're gonna switch over to GPS mode. It's already programmed in. Press B to set the altimeter. Looks like standard altimeter setting is the accurate one right now. Turn on our lights. Pitot heat is on because it usually complains. It is 8 degrees Celsius, so it's good to have that on anyway. So it'll be even colder once we climb up. Okay, mixture is now rich. And all right. So now I just want to make sure I set my altitude in the autopilot, at least as a reminder, but I tend to use autopilot quite a bit. Heading mode and sync the heading bug straight ahead. Now altitude, we're going up to 8,500. If you use dev mode to change the time of day, it doesn't count the flight time. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. That's interesting. So don't mess with the time of day in flight. I also have it, I don't have it synced to live, so I could change it right now since I'm not using the live multiplayer. All right, 8,500, and then we'll do IAS mode or FLC, same thing. Flight level change, 101 knots for airspeed for a climb. Man, this is gonna be a weird landing in a dirt airstrip that's like 12, what does it say, 1,200 feet? Sorry, 1,500 feet. We're just gonna go for it. All right, so we need, it said 70 knots, but I think we need more like 75 for our rotation. Oh, you keep setting off after work at night and wanting more daylight. Yeah, me too, yeah. Pretty much try to always fly it. I fly at night sometimes if I'm doing like more major airports and stuff that I know will have lighting and an ILS and stuff, be well lit, but this kind of stuff at nighttime is so sketchy. Man, we needed like 85 knots for the takeoff actually. I think I was supposed to have a notch of flaps in for the takeoff, but they were off. They were fully retracted. That could be a bug too. I noticed that it's not defaulting to GPS mode. It's had me in a VOR for my navigation source, which is usually in GPS mode automatically when you do the flight planning for the world map. Whoa, and now we're lagging. Having all sorts of problems today. Last couple streams were really smooth and there's just been some stuff happening today.
Salt Lake Center, Cirrus,
That
November,
is awesome.
21 Kilo India Papa is type Cirrus SR22 2 miles southwest
Okay,
of
that's cool.
Uniform 0. Request, flight following. Cirrus November, 21 Kilo India, call to Salt Lake Center.
Engaging
Squawk
autopilot.
3441.
Engaging autopilot. Man, the scenery is awesome.
441 Cirrus, Kilo India Papa. Cirrus Kilo India Papa radar contact 2 miles southwest of Tree Uniform 06.
I'm leading the mixture a bit because our power is pretty low as it's 71. And we're getting it up to 75 now because our elevation is pretty high.
Kilo India Papa.
And we're climbing up to 85, so we're already at 7,000 feet. All right, and just to be paranoid, let me double check that I started it. I did. So to start it, all you do with the Skypark app is just load the goods. In this case, we're doing the cargo one, so we picked up the counterfeit medical equipment, so that's loaded, it's checked off. So now we just need to get to the airport. Once we get there and land, then and park, then we'll be able to unload it, and that'll complete the mission for us. And it's very flexible. You can fly whatever route you want to get there, in whatever plane you want, though it recommends the type of plane under the info section here. So because of the runway length, it's recommending just a piston, or you can use a helicopter if you have a helicopter mod, one of those third-party helicopters installed. And yeah, it's 1,500 foot runway, so it's not recommending any plane bigger than a single engine piston aircraft. But you can use time warping. We tested that out on the last flight. You can use time warping if you want. You don't have to keep it in 1x if you don't want to. And you don't yet own any of the aircraft. So it says that they're working on it. So under the settings section, there's like a updates area. It shows all the newest things they've added. They add stuff all the time. All of the career mods add quite a bit. Yes, they have. They have a lot of long missions too. So here, let me show you. Contracts is where you pick up the different flights. So I had filters turned on. So I had filtered for a small plane because I wanted to fly the SR-22. And then they have the type of flight here. So they have not just cargo, but there's like bush trips and ferries. There's ones where you'll like fly. I think I saw one. They said there was like a YouTuber that requested a new Pitts that he bought to be flown from coast to coast. So there's like a like multi-leg trip to fly his plane for him, like to deliver it from one coast to the other. Anyway, there's a few filters here for requiring runway lighting, ILS approaches. Under advanced, there's a lot more like runway surface type, distances, altitudes, or runway length, I mean, and distance of trip, how many legs you fly, things like that. And then there's two different modes you can play the Skypark in. This is kind of the more hardcore mode. So it tracks where your pilot was and you have to pay fees. That's what these rings represent, are the fees you have to pay if your next origin or departure airport is further away from where you currently are. You'll have to pay a fee to travel to that location to do that flight that you're picking. So if I clear the filter, you can see a ton more up here. So there's just a lot of variety. So like here's a much longer one. Here's a 1,000 nautical mile trip from San Jose up to Canada, it looks like. Or sorry, from Edmonton down to San Jose. There's a lot of different ones. And then down here, we were looking at one of these experience trips. So here's one like Fly the Caribbean. This is just a single leg, I guess. They have like vaccine missions. They have some tour ones they've been doing. There's this one called the Rum Tour. And you can type it in. So here's the rum tasting tour. So that's this 14-leg kind of quote-unquote experience mission that flies you through all these rum-producing countries. So there's a pretty big variety. I'm pretty impressed with how much stuff they have. And if you don't want to do it's kind of in a more hardcore mode, under the settings app here, the settings screen, there's two different modes. I've showed this a few times, but for you guys that haven't seen it, there's this Endeavor mode. This is kind of the hardcore mode, so it gives you experience and fees, and it says they're adding in aircraft fleet management. But then there's also this Discovery mode that's really lax. It's totally laid back. You can choose any flight at any time. There are no fees or karma or expirations, anything like that. You could strictly use the contracts as just a way to pick some cool flights to fly, some recommended flights, like this Rum Tour one that was down here and things like that. So these gold lines, this just represents the fees because I'm playing in the other mode. So if I stray too far away, I pay a lot more money to relocate to fly in Europe or something, since my pilot's located in the States right now. And then, yeah, wherever you zoom in, kind of like you would in like Yelp or something like that, whenever you zoom in, you can refresh the region and it'll refresh and show you the legs. So you can, as you zoom in, you can hit search and it'll update with all these legs that you can fly. You can like page through them down here. And there's little descriptions for each one. And you can fly for the good guys or the bad guys. So you can fly counterfeit stuff like we're doing right now. So if I go here, this conduit part is our current flight. So here you can see under the info, we're flying counterfeit medical equipment. So it's for the evil company, the Coyotes. So we'll get a negative karma rating because of this. But in either case, you get XP. That levels you up so you get more profitable contracts later. And you also earn money. Right now, the money is only used for those fees, those transport fees. But they say they're working on management for fleet management. So I assume the money will be used for renting and buying aircraft later, stuff like that. We'll see. I don't know what soon means, but I assume probably sometime this year they'll do it. They seem to be updating pretty often. So I think what's nice too is like, I know NeoFly is really popular, and I like NeoFly. I think the interface in Skypark is a lot more beginner friendly. Or it's just nice to use. I mean, you can see how easy this is. You don't feel like you're looking at spreadsheets and stuff. On Air Company and NeoFly kind of feel that way to me, and I like both of them. And just to summarize the three again, I would say Skypark is more forgiving. And I feel like the interface is really, really good. And I like that it has like bush trips and stuff like that, not just cargo missions. There are fewer of them. There aren't too many that I've seen, but they do exist. And they update all three of them update really regularly. On Air Company is kind of the most hardcore of them, I think, because of the virtual airlines. Especially if you play on the Thunder server, that's like the most hardcore game mode they have. So it's the most in-depth, but the downside is, the interface isn't so great. It takes some getting used to. And it's a subscription service. You have to pay monthly for On Air Company. And then NeoFly is kind of like On Air Company, except it's free. There are some features you unlock by donating. And I will say NeoFly has the most interesting mission types. I don't think it has bush trips and like experience flights like this one does, like Skypark does, but it has cool ones that are like emergency drop zone missions where like you'll be going to pick up a medical passenger in this like area over here. You have to be within 2 miles of it and land and find a place to put the plane down. So it has some more of those like search and rescue style missions that the other ones don't. So there's pluses and minuses for all of them. And, I think that Skypark is Skypark's the most forgiving and the easiest to get started with, because it's not as hardcore. You don't own a plane yet. It sounds like they're going to add that, but that's my take on those three. And I know there are more out there. I haven't used the other ones for a while. Like FS Economy, I haven't used for a year. Anyway, they're all linked in the description below. So, you can start with NeoFly and check it out. See if you like it. It's free. So it's easy to get started with. But yeah, it's cool. Hey, Samuel, what's up, man? These videos are great. Cool. Glad you like it. Glad you guys enjoy them. I don't really know like if this is good content or not, or entertaining or what, but it's really easy for me to just flip the stream on and just play for a few hours. And you guys are always hopping in chat, so it's really cool to hang out and just chat for a bit. So thanks for hanging out. You're in the middle of your first on-air trip. Nice. Dude, I've used on-air for, man, I don't know how many hours. I've used it a lot, and I really like it. There's something refreshing about the simplicity of Skypark, though. I've run out of fuel so many times in on-air at airports and had to relocate my pilot for like 3 hours of real time, and stuff like that. So it's definitely hardcore, especially if you play on the hardcore Thunder server like I was doing. It's kind of like the way to experience it, I think, is on the Thunder server. But I like all of them. I think it's just a matter of personal taste, personal preference, what you want to do. All right, so this airport's at 5,900 feet, and we're coming up on it soon. It's only 6 miles away, so I'm gonna turn off the autopilot and start descending here. Now, this is a dirt strip, so yeah, this is gonna be a little sketchy. So it's a dirt strip, 1,500 feet long. So it's gonna gonna be a little sketchy to find this thing. These dirt strip ones are definitely the most difficult to do. You're gonna run out of fuel mid-flight. Yeah, I mean that is the cool part about it though. Like Neofly and On Air, they manage the payload for you and the fuel, so it's more realistic. That's not managed in Skypark just yet. I don't know if they have plans to do that or not. So there, it might be right down in there. That could be it. Or maybe it's so hard to find these dirt runways. I really just go off the GPS. It says we're 3 miles out, so I'm thinking it's like right down in here. Everything looks like a landing strip sometimes. Like, is it there? Is it there? Is it there? I have no idea. Oh, this might be it right below us too. So I'm just gonna fly by it first, and then this terrain around here is making this a little iffy too. Oh, is that it right there? I think that's it right there. All right, I'm adding in a bunch of throttle so we have all this terrain in front of us now. Is that it? Okay, it says it's almost off our left wing. I think that might be it right there.
500.
I think that might be it. It's so hard to find these sometimes. All right, the runway headings 26 and 08. All right, I'm gonna turn my heading bug.
500.
Let's turn our heading bug to... I'm just circling a bit here while I change this. Let's turn our heading bug to about 080. So I know roughly where it is. Where is this strip? All right, we're basically circling it. And there's all these buildings over here, and then there's buildings here. Oh, is this it right there? This is where the Cirrus is like not helping me right here. All right, it's directly to our left. Yeah, that's it right there. So I think it's that. It's a very small dirt strip. I think it's that guy right there. In the low wing, can't see it. Yeah, I think that's it right there. All right, we're gonna go over towards these mountains. This is so sketchy. I think that's it. It's so sketchy. My girlfriend is here laughing at me trying to find this runway. You what? Taking what? This job? Yeah, I know. But it's fun. It could be entertaining. What's more entertaining than me struggling to land in a 1,500 foot long dirt runway? This will be just fine. I'm just saying that to convince myself it'll be fine when it probably won't be fine. It's fine. I should set the OBS, but I've just set the heading bug. All right, I'm putting one notch of flaps in. Just to get us slowed down a bit. All right. It should be... It's a little to the left, but I need to swing out the other direction. Oh my God, where is it? think that's it right there. Is that the strip? This is so hard. I think it's right in these trees right here. Okay, I think I see it right here. This is gonna be sketchy. Hold on to your asses. We're going in.
500.
It is KFLG, Kilo Lima Fox Golf. I don't think this is it. Maybe we're close enough. Uh-oh, this is not it. Nope, we're going around. We're going around. It's horrible. That's definitely not it. Oh, it's this right here. That's gotta be it. Yeah, that's it right there. All right, that's a proper runway. Oh my God. We're going around. It's so hard to find them sometimes. Yeah, I should have done what my girlfriend said, of course, as always, but she's like, just overfly the airport. Like, I know where it is on GPS, just overfly it. And instead of doing that, I'm like skirting around the outside trying to find it, you know? Putting my flaps up because our speed is way too low. This is not sketchy at all. Huh? Yeah. Kilo Fox Lima Golf. Oh, it's paved? Not in this, it's not. Oh, in real life, apparently this is supposed to be paved. Oh yeah, she's showing me an aerial photo of it and it's paved. No, it's 8 and... Oh, KELG, sorry. I misread it. Kilo Echo Lima Golf. Yeah, KELG. You know, sometimes I've noticed that the airport codes are wrong for some of these smaller ones, and they're actually like they have numbers in them, you know, it'll be like, you know, CA69 or whatever.
500.
Airport name is Elko, ELKO. Elko Airport. I think we're in Utah. All right, let's try this again.
500.
Trimming up quite a bit here. I've been holding back on my stick a lot for no reason when I could just trim. All right, now can I get the runway in sight? This has got to be the hardest part of playing a sim is just, yeah, it's right there, right? It's just the camera management, you know, like it's such a challenge all the time. The biggest thing I need to change is to rebind the smart camera, because that'll look directly at the destination airport, and you can hold that down even while you're turning in and stuff like that, which is super helpful. But I usually have that on my trigger finger on my stick or my yoke, but I had changed that to kind of be my push to talk key, because that's normally what that actually is. But I'm definitely missing it, so I think I want to rebind that. All right, I see it now. Got to deliver these illicit, what are we delivering again? Counterfeit something? Counterfeit medical equipment. Very noble job that we're doing. Someone's got to do it. KELG. All right, there's the strip right there. So this right here, that's the strip right there. It doesn't exist. It's not in ForeFlight. It's probably just a mistake in the database. Nope.
$500.
Counterfeit medical equipment is still medical equipment. Yeah. It's like a scene from Breaking Bad or something, you know, like the boss is like injured or something. He got in a gunfight and he needs his medical equipment to be delivered. It's a pretty cool approach though. I'm fine. Ooh, yeah, that's a little hard. Another thing that Skypark doesn't do is rate your like landings and stuff. So you definitely get a lot more data on Air Company. Like that's a one of the things that's cool about On Air Company by comparison is it does track like every moment of your flight. So if you're too heavy-handed, you know, you have too high of G-force. If you have too like much of a bank angle, it'll penalize you, and it gives you like a comfort rating based on the performance throughout the flight of how much force there is for passengers and cargo and things like that. So it'll even ding you for things like not having your landing or taxi lights on, stuff like that. But yeah, it's, you know, I like all of them. I've mostly played On Air, but this one's been pretty fun. It's a bit more laid back, so I've been enjoying it. Feels like less pressure. Yeah, that was a cool final approach. That was pretty rad. I like it. Yo, I got your medical equipment. Hey, I got your stuff. I'm not a cop. Come on out. Come on out and get your packages. I think I need to deliver it all the way up to the house. Look how well kept this yard is. Look at this. Amazing. It's gonna ruin his yard here. I got the syringes for the cartel. I wish there was a horn. All right, there we go. Parking brake on. Cut the engines. See if I get credit. No credit in the sim. This is pretty though. Pretty sweet. So now we just go back here. Again, all you have to do is be near the airport. Like you can get there however you want. You can use time warp, flight sim rate warping and all that stuff. As long as you get to the airport, it's good. Cha-ching. The coyotes. Now we're evil and, you know, we'll have to live with that. We'll have to live with our evil deed and our $766 in our pocket. All right. Whew. That was a good amount of flying for today. I'm going to call it the end of the stream. 3 hours. I can't do one more. I have to do the... I have to sell the stuff. I'm selling some stuff, so I have to some neighbors, so I have to call it a little shorter today. But thanks for watching, guys. It was 3 hours of more Skypark. Somebody commented today that they wanted to see more of this stuff, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying it somewhat. If you want me to keep doing these, I can keep doing them. I usually do this off stream, so I've been doing it on stream to see if it's entertaining enough and if, you know, people find these valuable. So as long as you guys do, I can keep doing them. I don't know when I'm going to stream next. I might do another one of these in a couple days, but on Wednesday or Thursday, usually there's a small update to the sim, usually at least a marketplace update. So if they do an update to the marketplace and add any new cool like scenery things or especially new airplanes that I'm interested in, I might pop on to check those out in the sim as well on sometime this week. But I will definitely be on the week after this one for the big sim update number 4, which is happening 11 days from today. So that's two Thursdays from today, not this coming Thursday, but the following one. And there'll probably be a lot of changes with the avionics and the air traffic control stuff. So we'll take a look at that on a stream that day at the latest. But I'll probably see you guys before then. So thanks for hanging out, and we like it, just stream it. Will do. All right, Saran, thanks so much, man. Hope I'm saying your name right. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll see you in the next stream. Have a good night.